and welcome back to MD Global Muscle here at the On The Rise Media Studio with me, your host, Giles Thomas. I'm joined all the way from Libya. 2019 Olympia Champion 212, Kamal Elgargni. Yay! Kamal!
Yeah, Giles, what's up, man? How are you?
I'm really good, mate. How's the food in Libya?
I think you've seen my story. It's great. So everybody wants to invite me. So, when I came here to Libya, I haven't told no one because everybody's waiting for me from last year, the Olympia, when I actually won the title. And this year, so I couldn't call anyone. They've been waiting for me because of the pandemic. I don't want to make it too crowded because it's and everybody's they want to see me. And man, this coronavirus, it did take a lot from us, really. To be honest, everywhere I've been treated like a star here. Everybody wants to stop me everywhere, taking pictures, and man, I'm so happy. To be honest, I'm really happy to be here to see all my fans in Libya, and it could be a lot bigger. But hopefully next year, this year, when everything is cool, when I get my title back, will be much better.
Yeah. Do you know what? I'm surprised, because, even with your amateur career, you won the Arnold Classic in 2018, you won the Olympia in 2019. You've always been so well supported by, obviously Qatar as well, Libya. What's it like? You're literally like a superstar status, aren't you, in Libya?
To be honest, yesterday when I came here, because at the moment there is a new election for the new government, and it's be honest,
are you running for president?
They want to. A new president and everything. They want to involve me at the Ministry of Sports in Libya. So I did refuse that, and I said no, I'm not going to take this. Because it's not the time for it. Firstly, I'm going to be competing this year at the Olympia, so I'm not going to give up to compete the title for the Olympia because I want to get that title back.
Yeah,
definitely.
He keeps saying that. Twice he said that now.
Yeah, man. I know. It was very, very close last year, and it could go anywhere, to be honest. But I feel good. I feel strong, and I'm ready for the battle again. Mm-hmm. And to be honest, this year actually is going to be exclusive with you, Giles, as you always get in the newest news. I'm gonna sign the biggest contract again with the Libyana mobile phone, one of the Libyana mobile phone, which is the biggest mobile phone company here in Libya. So it's going to be it's a big number. I wouldn't say how much, but it's going to be a very that's going to be signed up in Tuesday. So I'm going to sign up that contract Tuesday morning, and then straight away I'm going back to UK. So hopefully I've got more support.
Oh, mate, that's fantastic to hear. That's so good, because it's so nice to see, when we saw Ramy going back to Egypt, and literally there's crowds of people, and so hang on, let me get this clear. This is the first time you've been back to Libya since you won the 212 Olympia in 2019. You haven't been back since you became the champion.
No, I haven't. This is the first time. And to be honest, they told me if you have told us, we could have done even more what they've done to Big Ramy. But to be honest, I don't want the crowd. I don't want to be involved, this virus and the pandemic, whatever, to be spread up more. So I don't want that. So that's why I haven't told no one. Even I had to wait to ring my brother as soon as I arrived at the airport. I rang my brother and said, "Hey, come and pick me up. I'm at the airport." So yeah, it is I don't want to be involved in this. Hopefully this year things will be better, and then wherever I compete, wherever I get, so I will be back straight from the Olympia, and I'll come back straight to Libya. So people they waiting for me. It's not just in Tripoli because I live in the capital. So all over, north, south, east, everywhere. To be honest, I got invited all over the country to go visit them, and it is It's unbelievable, guys. I mean, if you see, it's so much. It's really so much.
Oh, so let's go back to this Ministry of Sport thing. You've turned it down, but could you do that? Do you have to be in Libya to do that if you wanted to take that?
Yeah.
Right.
Oh yeah,
okay.
yeah.
You don't want. You don't want to go back.
Here, and I have to really, because at the moment, to be honest, there's a lot of things since the what they call it, the revolution. Libya is not being stable. All these wars and everything, so there's a lot of work has to be done. So you cannot do some works and you're not in the ground. You have to be in the ground, even to help. It's like you could be involved in somehow, but it's not the time. It's not the time. I mean, you know me. If I want to do something, I have to do it right.
Yeah. Can't you be like an ambassador or a consultant and do it remotely?
Yeah, it could be. It could be.
Oh, someone's ringing him. Someone's ringing you, mate. Someone's ringing you. It's popular man. It's the president asking him for dinner.
Sorry. It's all right, mate. It's my brother calling me, so.
Okay.
And I've told them all. I said, don't call me. But anyway, nobody listens.
You're a popular man, Kamal. You're a popular man. So, given that you've kind of gone deep undercover to even arrive to get there, and what's it been like being back in Libya then? What's it been like? What's the response? What have you been up to?
It's unbelievable, man. You feel like really like very good. I mean, I've got like this is I've got that love from all my crowd, all the Libyans. Everybody wants to be a part of me. Everyone wants to see me. I mean, now I'm sitting in the office at the gym, and like people they know, so they come to the gym. They just bring in their kids. They take pictures with me, and it's like wow, man. It really makes me really happy. I mean, earlier I went to the coffee shop, one of my friends, and you see like people like they stopping. Oh, yo, Kamal, you the Libyan champion. You this, you that. It's just like.
Have you ever been on national TV over there? Because I think I saw you. Were you on national TV?
Yes. Yesterday I was at the national TV because there's a lot of Libyan TV now. So I refused to go to the other channels, which is I went only with the actually Libyan TVs. There's another Libyan private TVs. I don't wanna be with these private TVs. They always like got agendas, behind them. So I went straight to the Libyan actually the government TV. I've been with them yesterday. I was there with them yesterday. Yeah.
Wow, fantastic! What was that like?
It's the thing is like at the moment. So they just talking about me, Kamal. You are the only. It's the biggest. To be honest, it is. I mean, I'm the only star in Libya as a sports to do all these titles. They just calling me even with the Ministry of Sports. They've called me. You are our ambassador all over the world because of your titles, the sports.
I love it.
It's to be honest, it makes me feel really really proud. Firstly, and then it makes me like a lot of responsibility to keep going. To be honest, because there is any at the moment any other sports that they've got that level. So this is I'm the only one. So, but I mean, I don't know. You want me to keep going?
Do you know what? I spoke to our good friend Flex Lewis about this, and you and I have spoken about it. It's like when you were the reigning kind of 2019, you like the kind of COVID thing happened, and you didn't get a real chance to go to Libya, to go to these places, to connect with people, and I feel like you kind of feel like you had that taken away from you a little bit, So. The thing is, when you win the Olympia, when you win the Olympia title, you're always the champion. You've always, and in your country, even before you won the Arnold, even before you won the Olympia, you were like probably the greatest amateur bodybuilder on the planet for several years running. So it's so great to hear that kind of now you're able to at least, even if it's like on a lower key than you maybe, outside of COVID times and, you're not telling people ahead of time you're coming. It's good. It must feel good now that you're able to get out and actually connect with people and kind of enjoy what you've accomplished.
Yeah, man, it is really, really good. I mean, you will see like in Tuesday, you will see like even the contract. When I signed a contract, they make it will be the whole media of Libya. They're going to be there. They're going to be in the whole TV channels. Yeah. It's going to be like a proper sign. The president of the company the CEO is going to be there, and they make it really, really big and professional. So it's like, it is so big. It's like one of the biggest sports ever. Like when you sign with to be honest, the press conference they do, it's a lot bigger than you sign with Cristiano Ronaldo or with the big. Okay, I will have some special cameraman to follow me tomorrow. When is that going to be signed? Probably my Instagram. Yeah. So you will be watching all these kind of. It's big. It's really big. Yeah.
Fantastic. So how are they marketing you then? How are they like billboards with you with a mobile phone, or you with an old flip phone or something?
It's not that much. I will be like, you see, in Ramadan. It's gonna be like I'm just like I don't know. They have me like in the mobile phone, the scratch cards, the swipe cards.
Yeah.
So will be my picture in there, and then they will be like, I'll be saying some good some game. For example, Happy Ramadan, whatever for the all Libyans in Ramadan. So it will be they will involve me in some stuff,
Oh, fantastic.
Things for this Libyan mobile phone, because I'm Libyan and every single sports people in Libya, they know who I am. So that's why it is. I mean, even when they have me like with the TV channels or whatever, when they announce that I will be live, Kamal will be talking. So they will have very high followers to be following and watching. They're waiting for me to see what I'm going to talk about and to watch me.
Brilliant. So how much of your family is back in Libya?
Sorry?
How much of your family, your brothers or whatever, you said you got a brother. What other family have you got left in Libya?
I've got all my brothers here. We are like big family, 6 brothers and 3 sisters.
Wow.
So all my family, that's gonna be for me. It's gonna be 1 week to visit them, but it's not enough to come here. I mean, really, to come back to stay, I need a month at least to be around and to all around Libya and all this kind of thing. Really, even 1 month is not enough. It's not enough because, to be honest, I am wanted everywhere in the ground of Libya, But hopefully, here, if the pandemic is good, I will be around, and I don't want it to, because
you want to do it, don't you?
Yeah, I've got all the support from them, and I've got all the comments from all over. It's not just Libya, all the Arab countries and everything. I mean, we set a plan this year with my sponsor BBI. Actually, after Ramadan, I will be visiting. I think it's about 8 or 9 Arabic countries around the Middle East and in North Africa. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, that's all if the pandemic is like, if the virus has gone down and everything. Yeah. So I still being wanted. So I'm doing okay.
Oh, it's great to hear. So did you say you're in the office of your gym in Libya? Because you got a gym in Libya, haven't you? You've still got that, yeah?
I've got two gyms in Libya. Yes, 2. They are big gyms, very, very big gyms. They are the best in very high qualities, done like with the latest equipment, and it's. I don't know if you seen my Instagram story yesterday. I was visiting one of my other gyms. They are big. I mean, very big.
How are they doing?
Very busy, very busy. To be honest, I've told my brother we need to make this one what I am now, so a little bit smaller than the other ones. But I said we're gonna make it even bigger. So hopefully we're gonna look for somewhere else, another plan to make even bigger gyms. So it's, to be honest, since I've been a professional and I've been like doing all these titles, the gyms are here. They are going to spread very big. Too many gyms they open. And everybody is like, he wants to be like Kamal, to be honest. It's one yeah. Bodybuilding here in England, in Libya, it's gone crazy because of my name. So
good.
It is really big.
Do you know what? When you were talking about everything, a kind of thought popped into my head. And I thought, do you know what? I'm so glad that split with the IFBB happened in 2017. Because if that had not have happened, because I was reading your article that Ron Harris wrote, and if that hadn't happened and Jim Mannion hadn't have okayed your pro card in 2017 and looked at your pictures and looked at your achievements and said, we need this guy in the pro league now. Imagine if that hadn't have happened. You just this energy and this positivity and the good that you're doing for bodybuilding, you know, and for yourself and for your family, that would not have happened. Do you know what I mean? Do you actually think about that ever? Do you ever think, what if that hadn't? Do you ever think, what if that hadn't happened? Where would I be right now? You'd be in, you know, Northampton, just running a gym. You know?
Yeah. I mean, to be honest, yeah, it's gonna be like, to be honest, you know, my brothers, yeah, if they're gonna go anywhere to finish some paperwork and everything, as soon as they go, like for example, to the bank, to any kind of ministry, any other, like any paperwork they need to finish, as soon as they see Elgargni name, Elgargni said, oh, what's Kamal to do with you? Like my dad, he said, he's my son. Okay, there he will be treated as a first class, and he will be treated completely. I mean, even my dad tells me, they stopped me in the street, and it's like, oh, you're Kamal's dad. You're this. Oh, my brother's like, you Kamal's brother.
Wow.
I mean, yeah, all that wouldn't happen if Jim Mannion, to be honest, if that didn't happen, because whatever I say, I mean, Jim Mannion is really like that split, and when he hands me like my pro card, I mean that's all because of what he did to me, and always grateful and always thankful to him for all this.
God, imagine if that hadn't happened, because you did your first 212 show in 2018. I was there, sat there right at the front, watching you talk to Arnold and get emotional and thanking the pro league and everything, and then, you know, and you won the Olympia in 2019, and oh my God, and what you're doing and what you're doing, you know, doing for the industry, it's like, it's just so great, mate. It's really, really great. It's really, like I said, I've known you since 2001, and just seeing what you've done, you know, even as an amateur that you could have called it a day in 2014 and you still would have had an absolutely incredible career to talk about, you know?
Yeah, I'm like what I said, I'm really, really proud what I've done. I'm really, really proud to be part of the bodybuilding family, and even prouder with the pro league family as well, because I am without bodybuilding, I don't think I'll be that much success. Whatever I did, whatever money I made, whatever I did, because of bodybuilding, because of my connection, because of who I am as a bodybuilder, okay, as a personality, whatever. But everything I did because of bodybuilding, all my connection, all my whatever titles I got, okay, I used it quite well, professional way, and to be honest, I made it. I mean, even like finance-wise, thank God, I'm good now. I don't have to work anymore if I wanted to, and I just relax and enjoy bodybuilding and give back to the industrial as well. And this is my goal, to be honest. This is my goal, because I'm in like North Africa. I wanted to have the bodybuilding. I want the bodybuilding here in the pro league, or to just like, you know, to be like a promoter of I don't know, Olympia, amateur, NPC, just to make it easier for the African, because they are, you know, to get the visa to travel Europe is so difficult. So I'm gonna bring the pro league into their doorstep and then make them. It's really big. It's really, really, and I know how they feel, because they contact me most of the time, all the African, oh, this, when you're going to do this. So hopefully, as soon as, at the moment, the Libyan new government, and it's really, really quieter. So as soon as we have more, security and more, so definitely we will have, I'll have to give something back to bodybuilding. I have to.
Now, I know you've done the Amateur Olympia. Where was that? Was that Tunisia?
Tunisia is still going. It's going to happen this year, August 7 and the 8th, and Tunisia, yes. It's going to happen this year, yes, again.
I am available to come out and cover that for you.
We did before the Olympia. This is going to be the second year, and we did the NPC qualifier as the first time in North Africa, to be honest. We did that in Tunisia as well. So no one done NPC. So we did that one in Tunisia. So it is... Well, like what I said, I don't mind to. I have to give back to this sport, because the bodybuilding sport, that's what's made Kamal's name and made me like international, worldwide.
Are we going to see a Kamal Classic Pro show in the Middle East?
Well, to be honest, I'm thinking
Come on.
it's going to be Kamal Classic. I don't know where, maybe in Asia,
Oh, nice.
but I'm working. Yes, I'm working on it. I've got the sponsor as well.
Okay.
So it's not going to be far. Hopefully, I don't think it's going to be this year, but definitely it's going to be Kamal Classic very soon.
I completely guessed that name then. I thought either Elgargni Classic or Kamal Classic. Kamal Classic sounds more catchy.
Yeah. Well, it's probably I'll do it like in my logo because my logo is K1, so probably K1 Classic.
Yeah. Branding. That's smart. So then,
yeah, and to be honest, I have my other branding, which is it's gonna be launching very soon. Mm-hmm. I have my online gym equipment now, so nice. I've already sold about six gyms around the world, 2 in the United States.
Okay, Kamal, sorry, we lost a bit of connection there, mate. Sorry, you were saying?
Yeah, I mean, like what I said. So we're talking about the K1 strength. That's doing very, very well. Yes, we're doing very well at the moment. So I haven't announced about it yet, but just pass it to my connection. As you know, I've got a lot of connection, a lot of people, friends and everything. Mm-hmm. As soon as I send them the equipment, and it's been really, really good. Do you know the pumping room at the Olympia machine? Did you see the machines?
Backstage.
Yeah, backstage this year.
Yeah, Antoine Vallant said it was the best backstage you'd ever pumped up in.
Yes, you know that company? It's a Korean company.
Okay.
So I manufacture with them now.
Oh, fantastic.
I made a deal and I manufactured with them now. So nice. And I've already spent some good money with them. And I have some equipment has already arrived in the US. Mm-hmm. And I have actually 2 containers coming here to Libya, and I have about 4 containers going to Qatar.
Brilliant. That's great. That's great to hear, mate. So, really good.
Yeah. It is. That's all because of bodybuilding. So definitely it's going to be some good shows, and I'm going to give something back to bodybuilding.
Good. No, it sounds like you're doing shows, equipment, your business, your gyms. It's that you kind of. You can see that you and Flex Lewis are friends because you've obviously been a good influence on each other over the years. So, are you moving to America?
Yes, indeed. I'm just waiting for my my lawyer. I mean, we applied, so I'm just waiting for actually the immigration. As soon as I get the approval, and I'll be definitely moving to Florida. Yes.
So you're still definitely stuck on Florida?
Oh, yeah, man. I mean, I love that place. And man, it's so great. And I think, yes, that would be my place for now. Yeah. Until I see, maybe if I find another place. But I think that's where it's going to be.
Good. Have you seen all the pictures and videos of Flex's new gym in Vegas? What do you think?
Oh yeah. Of course, I've been in touch with Flex, and he's been sending me all the work. Oh, it looks great. And I've seen like Hassan Mustafa's there. Raphael as well has arrived there now, and I've seen Jay Cutler actually today. He posted some pictures. Jay Cutler. I've seen Sean Roden, and I've seen all the big guys. So it is gonna be the replacement, I think, of Gold's Gym. I think so.
I was just about to say, I think it's going to be the new Mecca of the West Coast. So if he's got the new Mecca of the West Coast and you move to Florida, I think you should try and be the East Coast Mecca. Oh shit, Steve Weinberger's gym is, but maybe a Florida. Florida and New York are quite far apart.
Yeah. I mean, it is, to be honest, with my sponsor BBI, we are thinking to do good things. Yeah. It's not just a supplement. Mm-hmm. So to be honest, the manager, Chris McKenzie and Whitney, to be honest, we are in good relation. It's not because of just as they are my sponsor athletes, but we are really talking about business to make things are better. So, and they are willing, they listening, they take ideas, and I gave some of my ideas, so they're happy to make things are even bigger and better.
Good. Okay, then, one final question. How's Chris Aceto giving you your off-season plan yet, and what's the plan for this year?
Well, to be honest, there is no off season. We've been on straight away. Off season, yes, they're off season, but there's no off season of food. To be honest, I've been eating clean. I mean, to be honest, I mean, I'm still in really, really, really good shape. And
he's showing us the abs. Look at that. Not bad for an old guy. So, Kamal, not bad for an old guy.
Yeah. Oh, they're all there. So. Yeah, I can't wait, to be honest. I feel really more hungrier than any time before. Like, I want to get back into that great stage. I mean, last year you haven't been there, but really, really go for the Dan Solomon and his team. They've done a great job. Really, really great job. I mean, that's what we want to be. It's the Olympia. The Olympia stage. I can't wait. I just can't wait.
I can say you're so fired up, mate. And I put in my column, actually, I think it's out yet. I said that you're going to be around for another 5 years, so you're going to keep going. You're going to go further than compete longer than Dexter did, and so you're still going to be with us for the next 4 or 5 years, then battling it out with Sean Clarid and all the other 212s.
Yeah, I mean, it is. It's a great champions there. It's great guys. As long as I still keep improving, I looking great. So I don't think I see myself stepping back. Even here from my crowd back home in Libya, and it is when I say maybe they asked me how long you're gonna keep going. I said maybe 1 or 2. No, please keep going.
Yeah. Wow. Well, the thing is, you're not even kind of still trying to maintain. You're actually improving. So why stop?
Yeah, I mean, I will do my best. To be honest, I will do my best, and if I look the way that judges, they happy to give me the title back, so I'm happy. If not, I'll always do my best to improve. So at the end of the day, the other champions, whatever, everybody wants to be improving. Everybody coming there wants a title. So for me, I'll do my best.
Yeah, do you know what? I think this is what the 212 was maybe lacking after Flex Lewis retired. I think we're looking for a really good, like a Jay and Ronnie, like a 212 version. It really adds excitement to know that you two, and obviously everybody else is there trying to, get in between you. And it's really cool to see that real kind of these two guys, one with title each, and they're so close to each other, and on any given day, one can beat the other. And I think it's going to, what it definitely has already added a lot of excitement to the division.
Oh yeah, definitely. 212 is definitely. I know it's not like, I don't know, some guy will say they don't talk about Shabari, and it's not really as the open class and whatever, but the 212, it is it is a lot of. There's a lot of great champions, and it's a really tough class. I mean, it's not really easy. I mean, I think in somehow it would be, if it's not even better. I don't know, but it's really it's a tough class, and it's really pushing the Olympia, and it's a massive, big part of the Olympia.
Yeah. Well, all right then, Kamal. Well, I wanted to get an update because when I heard you were in Libya, I thought, I've got to, because I knew, and please tell me there was no more camels on trucks.
I refused all that this year. Like what I said, I really refused everything this year. I said, please, I don't want, I want this to just keep away, but hopefully next year, I don't want to be involved in some problems or catching the virus or whatever. So I want to keep away, but hopefully this year things goes away. Will be more than one camel.
Oh no! Yeah. Okay. Well, all right then, mate. Well, okay. Well, it's been great for the update, mate. And as like I said, it's always great to catch up, Kamal. And it's just good to see you still so, everything's going great for you, and you're signing these new contracts, and it seems to you're getting the appreciation and the love that you've kind of, that you've given Libya really with your career and your competing. So it's great to see, mate, and I'm really happy for you.
Oh, thanks. Thank you so much, Giles. And definitely, even when things get quieter here, we will hopefully come for a visit. You will love it. You will love it, Libya. It's unbelievable place. Really nice place, especially in the summer, the seaside and everything. And we will make a nice tour here, definitely.
Oh, if I come to Libya, though, I'm going to change my name to Giles Elgargni so I get preferential treatment in the restaurants and the bars and stuff.
Wherever. You don't have to, listen, as long as you are with me, you don't have to change nothing. Like a king.
Oh, I could deal with that. I could deal with that. All right, then, mate. Well, enjoy the rest of your time in Libya, and hopefully we'll catch up very soon.
Thank you so much, Giles, and it'll be a pleasure always, as always, and nice to see you as well.
And I want some more Libyan coffee at yours, please.
So much. Thank you so much.
Okay, thanks, Kamal. Okay, guys, I'm going to freestyle this one completely. I'm going to go through an old Arnold classic, and an Arnold classic that I followed as, well, how old was I then? 1993, 17. 17. No, but this was an iconic Arnold classic, the 1993 Arnold classic. This was one of those ones that was 1993 was kind of a bit of a game changer for the industry. This was when Dorian Yates came back at the Olympia at 257 and really asserted his dominance, kind of like Ronnie Coleman did in 2003. But this 1993 Arnold classic, I'll go through it and I'll explain why this was such a significant contest for bodybuilding, really, that ushered in a new era of mass and just this next generation of super pros. So, okay, turn up a little bit. Just want to hear a bit of Arnold. A bit of Arnold. Looks so young there, doesn't he? Down a bit. Arnold just saying about how amazing his show is, which it is.
Enormous celebrity surrounding both
Who's this
Arnold
guy?
and the whole event, and the actual decision on who's the best comes down to a panel of judges.
That's right.
Yes, judges decide who wins the show. That's correct. Right, let's scroll over a bit. Okay, who's this? Right, here we are. We've got Vince Taylor here. Vince Taylor won the year before, so he was the defending champion. 36. Yeah, Lee Haney was retired by the time he was 31 with 8 Mr. Olympias. Turn it down a bit. Yeah. Yeah, so Vince really, he had a lot more competition going in for this year. So his posing, as always, was very, very awesome. Yeah. I had breakfast with Vince Taylor in '95 at the British Grand Prix. Yeah, we did. Yeah, we did. And then Aaron Baker, Paul Dillette, Chris Cormier were over the back, and Vince's back was facing them, but his back was, he was facing me, but his back was to them. And then Paul Dillette shouts and he says, "Hey Vince," he says, "what you get?" Because I was there with my training partner Alex. I used to train legs with every Saturday. And he said, "Hey Vince," he said, "why are you giving those guys a free seminar? Come and hang with us." He did. And then Vince Taylor, actually he rolled his eyes to us as if to say, "Oh," he says, he puts his hand up and he goes, "Paul, I'm good hanging with the guys, thanks, but thanks for the offer." And so he completely threw Paul Dillette under the bus there. That's a true story. That was in '95. I was 19 years old. So yeah, Vince Taylor, man, what a legend. Won several Masters Olympias. Won a lot of pro shows. I think him and Kevin Avrone and Dexter Jackson. You're talking like 25 to 30 pro shows, pro wins each. Kenny Castle. Eat ice cream before a show. Is that recommended? Oh, here we go. So yeah, Vince Taylor was third in this one. Looks so young there. Now this was the emergence of Paul Dillette, who I've just talked about. Yeah, and can you believe he was fourth place in this one? Because a few weeks before, Paul had made his pro debut at the Pro Ironman, and I don't think he just sent shockwaves through the sport. God, his posing's awful, isn't it? It's awful. He's actually not put a posing routine together. Look at the pectorals. Look at the chest. There's Arnold. She looks happy. Cheer up, love. Might never happen. God. Nightmare to photograph. He's not holding the poses. Yeah, Paul Dillette. I mean, I think for me, he really peaked in '97 at when he won the French Pro. That was the best look he ever had. But he was phenomenal. The shoulder width. I mean, his clavicle width. I mean, look at that. Look at the structure. Look at the waist. That's like a middleweight's waist with a super heavyweight's body. But he was just phenomenal. Yeah. Yeah. Here's a guy, I think like Chris Cormier, that really could have given it another 15-20% and probably could have won Olympia. He was absolutely incredible. The 94 Olympia, the year after this one, obviously, the Olympia, he looked very, very good. I think he was 4th place there. Yes, he was. He was 4th place there. Yeah, he was amazing, Paul Dillette. Did they say 26? On there. 26 years old and that good. Okay, here we go. Flex Wheeler. Flex Wheeler. Here's the females. Is that Anja Schreiner? Oh, there's Kim Jasewski. I can't see who that is. Shelley Beatty? Oh, I love seeing these old videos. They're fantastic. No, don't want to see that. I want to see Flex Wheeler. Yeah, you look great, love. Oh, God. Stole my moves. Oh, Carla Dunlap. Yeah, she made a comeback in 93. Yeah. Wow, that's some... This was female bodybuilding 28 years ago. Kim Jasewski, yeah, she won this one. She was awesome. She won 4 Olympias. She won. Right. It's so funny hearing Arnold give the commentary. Kim Jasewski, yay! Look at that hair. Sorry, mate, what did you say? 2 minute 2 was 91. I saw it Independence Day, July 4th in Rhode Island, Providence, when I was backpacking around the East Coast of America with my training partner. It came out. It debuted. That was its premiere, Terminator 2. And I saw it again a couple of weeks later in Toronto. Oh, wow. I've never actually seen this footage like this. 218 he weighed. 27 years old he is here. Wow. He set the sport alight. He won the Pro Ironman the week before. He turned pro at the 92 USA the year before. Here we go. Oh, no. They showed Lee Labrada when he hit the iconic pose. Why would they do that? Oh, my God. That's the worst editing I've ever seen in my life. Yeah, Flex Wheeler was supposedly 218 pounds. I'm pretty sure he'd have made classic. I mean, that would be a 10-time classic Olympia champion. Oh, I can't believe that iconic, that pose he did on the floor. I mean, that's one of the most incredible bodybuilding pictures of all time. And they cut away to show Lee Labrada and Hunter Labrada backstage. Fuck me. Seriously. Well, not seriously, but, I like you as a friend, Khalid. Wow, though. Flex Wheeler, 19-3. I think he won the Ironman, the Arnold Classic. He won German or France? But he won his first 4 pro shows. He went to the Olympia and got second to Dorian Yates. I mean, such a shame he had Dorian Yates to go up against. I saw him at the British Grand Prix in 93 as well. Oh, wow, he was so impressive. So impressive. And what a career Flex Wheeler had. Wow. I remember just seeing the pictures of him and Paul Dillette because they were the newcomers, They were the new guys. I can't... Yeah, well, that's a horrible angle as well. Who is taking these stills? And this is post-edited. Jesus. Here we go. Yeah, 3-time runner-up at the Olympia from 89 to 90... No, 2-time runner-up, 89, 1990. That's Robin. That's Lee Labrada's wife. They're still together, obviously. Well, not obviously, but... Yeah, what a power couple. Labrada Nutrition. Now, Lee Labrada, one of the all-time greatest posers. In fact, I think the 1991 Mr. Olympia contest, for me, greatest posing routine of all time. Look at that. He looks good here. Yeah, he took 3rd place here. He actually beat Paul Dillette. Look at that. He's the only one who hits that pose properly. 32 years old. So he was retired. He retired at the 95 Arnold Classic. I think he took 5th place. That was the one that Mike Francois, who we had on the other week, that was the one he did. So I like doing these show reviews. Like old show reviews. Like giving my take on it now, but nearly 30 years later. But this was... Oh, look at his posing. No one can pose like Lee Labrada. That guy was phenomenal. Yeah. Yeah, I'll give you that one, Arnold. You're right on that one, mate. Yeah, he was fantastic, Lee Labrada. I've seen him in better condition, though. He was only like 190 pounds on stage. But what a fantastic bodybuilder he was. So in 93, he took 4th place at the Olympia. Sean Ray was 3rd. Leo Labrada was 4th. Kevin of Rome was 5th, coming off the pec tear injury. Well, that's Hunter. That's Hunter Labrada, the kid. And he's now he's done the Olympia. Took, what was he? 9th or 8th? Wow. It's Hunter Labrada backstage at the Arnold Classic. Fantastic. Right, come on, what else we got? Come on, I'm loving this. Mike Matarazzo. Oh, I don't remember him doing this one. Yeah, he was one of my favorites as well. He won the USA in 91. He beat Flex Wheeler, beat Chris Cormier, Dean Caputo. I'm not sure if Edgar Fletcher was in that one. Yeah, he was fantastic. Matarazzo sadly died. Look at those calves. Wow, I don't think he ever trained them actually. Why is he talking about his abdominals? His arms and his calves are insane. It's so funny now because this kind of coverage looks so amateurish now, but it was like, it was groundbreaking at the time. Right, okay. I don't want to see adverts, thank you. Okay. Let me just, yeah. Okay, who's next? Who's this? Oh, wow. Well, the prejudging. I've never seen this footage. Never seen it. There's Alcu Gurley, Sonny Schmidt, Akam Albrecht. Flex Wheeler. God, he looks so good. Samir Banu. Look, Samir. 93 Olympia. Sorry, Arnold Classic. Alcu Gurley, he was very good. A bit of a Sean Ray lookalike at the time. He's not placing well. What is this? What is this? Oh, no. I bet they were so pleased with themselves when they did this in editing. This was groundbreaking CGI for the time. I bet Arnold hooked this up. Wow. This is when the... Oh, see. Okay. Come on, Arnold. Stop pimping your show. Okay. It's funny, though, because these expos, the Arnold Expo, is insane now. I mean, it's just... Well, not last year, because there was no expo. But it was so busy. It's just... Look at Arnold checking his girl's arse out. So, yeah, checking out the gluteus maximus. Yeah, okay, Arnold. Yeah, okay. All right, mate. All right, we believe you. Yeah. We got your number, mate. Wow, JJ Marsh. I think JJ Marsh was 5th in this one or 6th. He was very underrated, JJ Marsh. I think he just didn't compete for long enough. He was in the Olympia that year. Very impressive bodybuilder. He won the Pro Ironman, I want to say in 92, was it? 92? Needs more calves. His calves are good. Yeah, very, very impressive bodybuilder. Yeah, I'd love to know what's happened to him actually now. Yeah, I think Sean Ray's done an interview with him fairly recently. So these are the guys that you obviously weren't in the top 5, because this was probably one of the greatest Arnold classics of all time, really. Wow. Oh, pose down. Come on, we're going to watch the pose down. Yes. Look at the resolution. It's so shit. Well, that's what I had at the time, wasn't it? Okay. Wow. Flex Wheeler won this one, didn't he? Look at Dillett. Paul Dillett. How is that for a top 5? Vince Taylor, Lee Labrada, Flex Wheeler. You can't commentate on a pose down. Although that's kind of what I'm doing. What am I talking about? Shut up, Giles. Go over, lie down. Wow, look at all the different... Everyone's a lot older now. It's nearly 30 years ago now. What? You're 1 year old. Were you at this show then, or? Yeah, sat in the 4th audience. Yeah, shitting your diapers. JJ Marsh, Vince Taylor. Wow, look at Paul Dillett. What a diamond in the rough Paul Dillett was. Look at that. What a structure. His arms. He was 26. He was just getting started. He turned pro at the 92 North Americans. Yeah, absolutely phenomenal. This is fun. Right, well, let's see what Flex Wheel has to say. Look at his big hair. Look at Flex. So young. So incredible he was. Here's all the old 35mm cameras there. Vince Taylor. Yeah, some people say this was the best version of Flex Wheeler ever was before he kind of went a lot bigger. He went up to like 240, 250. But a lot of the bodybuilding purists say that this blend of size and aesthetics was really, really, really special. And to be honest, I have to agree. Oh, sorry, Lee Labrada was second in this one. Lee Labrada was second. Vince Taylor third. Paul Dillett fourth. JJ Marsh fifth. Can you hear that? Everyone's shouting flex. That's what's his name? Oh wow! Imagine that, turning pro the year before, winning the Pro Ironman less than a year later, and then winning the second biggest bodybuilding show in the world, the Arnold Classic. Wow! I remember cutting all the pictures out of the mags from in all the show reports, and just this for me was the best Arnold Classic of all time. I think. Yeah, I think this was. Oh, 96 was good as well. That was when Kevin Navrone beat Flex Wheeler. That was a good one. That was very close between him and Flex. Should review that one for next episode. Wow, what memories this brings back. Guys, go and educate yourself, seriously, because these shows are fantastic. Lee Labrada. Yeah, 2 years later, Lee Labrada retired. A fantastic career, set up his supplement company. Doing very, very well. Oh, Mike Matarazzo was sixth. Okay, that's a good placing. So there you go. Right, okay. Space bar. Right, okay. Well, I hope you've enjoyed this. But, something's happening. Flex Wheeler. Oh, go watch a bit of interview. Come on. That's exactly where I stand when I do the interviews backstage. That guy drawing his cheeks are. Looks knackered. Turn it up a little tiny bit, please. Has won his first two pro competitions. You just don't see that anymore. Oh my God, you could light a match on those cheekbones. Arnold still asking the same silly questions.
I have 22.5 inch arms. My legs are 31.
Why do you ask about measurements?
And I think my chest is right around.
Who even measures anymore?
Well, Flex, it seems to me that size is in again. Although you have great proportions.
Size is in again?
But don't you think that the future is again in big guys, size? I mean, the measurements that you're saying to me is world record measurements right now.
World record measurements.
It's
15 stone,
like
mate.
You said a long time ago that we have to compete against now. It's the standards that was set now.
Flex Wheeler, man. What a legend. What a legend. He's been on Globe Muscle. Fantastic guest.
And I wish you
lost his leg last year. But, this was a really... Well, Pepsi sponsoring.
Flex Wheeler, our new champion of the Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Wow. So there you go. Yeah, 1993 Arnold Classic. Yeah, it really brings back a lot of cool memories. But like I said, I've never actually seen that video. So it's really nice to see that footage all the way through. And that's again, is like the 2003 Olympia. That's one of the shows I wished I could have gone back in time and seen. Because 1993, that was when, you had the emergence of Flex Wheeler, Paul Dillett. Two guys that really took this, there were two amazing newcomers. And of course, then we had Dorian Yates unveil a physique that we'd never seen the likes of before at 257 pounds with conditioning that you just didn't see on anyone, let alone on a big guy. So yeah, it was a really, really significant year for bodybuilding, kind of like in 2003 when Ronnie Coleman took size to a whole new level, 287 pounds, looking like something from another planet. Okay, guys, I hope you've enjoyed this segment. Maybe we'll do this again with another Arnold Classic. But for now, guys, we are out. Okay, guys, we're going to use a segment from something we filmed actually last summer, but we've never actually used it for anything. It's of our dear departed friend, Peter McGough, the very highly respected writer, editor. He worked for MD for many years. Obviously, probably best known as the editor of Flex magazine and Muscle and Fitness. Back in, he started working for them in '92 when he moved to America. And he was just the one that kind of gave us all the very, very special stories. This was back when the magazines were this is all we had really to kind of follow the careers of all our favorite bodybuilders in the industry. And Peter was the one that really brought those to life. He was a friend. He was a mentor. He was a friend in need when some of the athletes needed guidance or a fatherly figure to help give them some advice. So I've sent this video, the full video, to his wife, Anne McGough, and Byron, and just so she's seen it. But this is of Pete McGough and John Hansen. We did this is for a different show. We never used it, but it's for the I had a team for Olympia history, and I asked John and Peter to give us some sort of very well-known stories from the Olympias from 1965 to 1995, and we got an hour out of it. So we still haven't decided what we're going to do with the full video yet, but I felt I just didn't want it to not be used, you know? So we're going to use a little excerpt in this episode, and then I'll speak with the team at MD and we'll decide what we're going to do with the rest. But we're going to work in some really nice edits, and I just thought it'd be nice to put it in this episode and just kind of remind us of why he was so special to all of us and so special to the industry, and why he's so missed. You know, obviously, sadly, lost his battle with cancer a few months ago. He battled hard for about 8 years, I think. I think it was 2013 he was diagnosed, and he was given like a few months to live even back then. But he kept fighting, and and he fought on for another 8 years. I think it was 8 years, and so I just I wanted it to be seen, and I hope you enjoy it, and that's it really. So okay, thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoy the last ever, to the best of my knowledge, I think this is the last ever filmed video that Peter McGough ever did. So hope you enjoy it. When I was thinking about putting this Olympia history segment together, I just thought we need two real sort of, you were the two obvious names that came up as the ultimate historians of the Mr. Olympia. So thank you so much for joining us, and I'm really excited to see what we're going to talk about.
That's another way of saying we're a couple of old farts. But
yeah, that's what I said.
Please edit that out. No. Okay, guys. Oh, right. Okay, the first topic I really wanted to talk about was the 1965 Olympia. Obviously, that's a significant one because that was the very first. So then, Peter, were you at that Olympia?
Sorry, I didn't hear you.
Let's talk about the 1965 Olympia.
Well, I mean, the Olympia came into creation because, Joe Weider figured that, we had the universe, we had the Mr. World, we had Mr. America, but he wanted an overall title that somebody that won those titles could go on to. Larry Scott had reached the end of his career. He got nothing more to aim for. And they had a dinner meeting, and Betty Weider was there. This was in '64, I believe, and talked about a new contest, an overall contest for the Champion of Champions. And they were looking for a name. And they were drinking Olympia beer. And this is a true story. I know it sounds fantasy, but it's true. And Larry was of the opinion that, well, Olympia beer, is that really great PR for a bodybuilding contest? Maybe it should be called, and he said this, Mr. Broccoli, that's healthier. But anyway, that was how the Mr. Olympia came into being, to create this overall, Champion of Champions mantle. And that it was launched in 1965, September, at the Brooklyn Academy of Music.
Was there any other considerations for the name? I mean, obviously it was named after the Olympia beer, and it was in that famous scene in the bigger movie. Was there any other name considered other than the Olympia?
I don't know. It doesn't appear so, because even Larry's recounted the story, and apart from sort of saying we should maybe call it Mr. Broccoli, which obviously it was being humorous, there didn't seem to be another name coming on. But if you think about it, the Olympia, it does fit the bill, doesn't it? Mount Olympia, Champion of Champions, something really big and special and over and above the universe. Yeah.
So what was it? How many competitors were in that? Do you remember, John?
Only three competitors.
Three competitors.
There was only, There was Larry, Harold Paul, and Earl Maynard.
Right.
Earl Maynard was a friend of my father's when he was in the RAF, based in Cyprus.
No kidding. Wow.
Yeah, he always said my dad had really good genetics for bodybuilding, and my dad said he was never interested.
Wow.
Well, that first night, they did hold the Mr. America and Mr. Universe contest before the Olympia. And Earl Maynard won the Universe and went forward to the Olympia. He finished third. Harold Paul was second. Harold was only 18, and some people thought maybe he should have won. He was amazing.
Yeah.
Harold Paul, often forgotten about, but a tremendous, tremendous physique.
Yeah, that's not talked about a lot, but Harold Poole was unbelievable at a young age as a teenager. And I know the next year in 1966, a lot of people thought he should have beat Larry Scott. So he had an amazing physique for a teenager. He was unbelievable.
Yeah.
So he was 19 years old?
He was 21, actually.
21.
In that first Olympia, yeah. Just turned 21.
And obviously this was 12 years before the Sandow actually came into being. What did Larry win for winning the Mr. Olympia?
Well, all he won was a crown that year. There was no prize money. He did get 1,000 the next year, but no crown. So he probably appreciated the $1,000 more than the crown. Yeah.
The Imperial Margin crown.
Yeah.
Do you have sorry, go on.
I mean, from the people I've spoken to that were there, people like Lou Ferrigno, Mike Mensa was there, who was only about 15 or 16, but came all the way to New York to see it. The thing they talk about is it was almost like Beatlemania when Larry Scott came out. The crowd was chanting, "We want Larry, we want Larry." And when he came out, Joe Weider was so excited. He sort of preempted Larry coming out. He said, "Doesn't he look fantastic?" And nobody had seen him yet, And Mike Mensa, showing how intrepid he was. When it was all over, he climbed over the barriers, went backstage, saw Dave Draper, Mike Mensa, walked outside with them, and there was like this massive crowd just waiting for them. And it was something like 1 o'clock in the morning. It really was shades of Beatlemania.
Was Larry the first guy to have 20 inch arms?
Oh, well, Leroy Colbert is
Leroy Colbert might have. Yeah.
It's always sort of debatable. I could say I got 20 inch arms if I put them both together.
Right.
So what was the format, John? Do you remember what the format of the show was back then? Because obviously we have the traditional kind of the rounds with the symmetry, and whether you don't have the symmetry anymore, we have the pre-judging, and then we have the finals, and then the pose down. What sort of do you have a recollection or a knowledge on the running formats of the shows in those very early days?
Well, from the articles I read, I know the night show, they tried to pack it with as much entertainment as possible. So they had a beauty contest called the Miss Americana contest, of course, along the lines of Miss America. And they also had a rock band that would play in between the different divisions. And like Peter said, they had the Mr. America contest, which I think had over 40 competitors. So that was pretty big. And then they had the Mr. Universe contest. And then they finally finished with the Mr. Olympia. But they only had 3 competitors in the Mr. Olympia, so they had to build it up. As far as the prejudging goes, I'm not really sure. I never really saw pictures of prejudging, so I'm not sure if they even had a prejudging or they just judged it live. I'm not really sure about that.
Yeah, I sort of am the feeling that they probably just did it in the evening. There was no afternoon prejudging, and it would be very quick. But like you say, John, it was a packed bill, with all sorts of things going on. There was probably a strength act in there as well. Rick Wayne, he won the short class in the Universe. Dave Draper won the Mr. America. And he was a bit of a revelation then, because everybody looked upon Dave at that time as, being a bit heavy. But this was the time that he really whipped himself into shape. And, when he stripped off, he was clearly the winner in the Mr. America. Why he didn't go forward to the Olympia, I'm not really sure, because he certainly was good enough, to compete that year.
Yeah, for people that don't remember, Dave Draper back then was kind of like what Arnold wanted to be. When Arnold saw Dave Draper was in the movies. He was on the TV show The Monkees, and he made a movie called Don't Make Waves with Tony Curtis and Sharon Tate.
Wow.
And if you remember that movie last year that Quentin Tarantino did, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, Sharon Tate was the central figure in that movie. And there's a scene where they're in Sharon Tate's house, and there's a poster of "Don't Make Waves" on the wall with Dave Draper on it.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, he was like a guy going into the movies. And Joe Weider really promoted him and Larry Scott as the ideal image of like the California bodybuilder, the blonde hair on the beach with the surf, the surfing boards and the hot blondes, and that was the image that Joe Weider wanted to promote.
Yeah.
So this was back in the days when, I mean, this was several years before even, you could actually select your own posing music, wasn't it?
Yeah, they probably just had a band playing in the background. I remember going to the Mr. Olympia in 1977. Uh-huh. I don't think they started music until maybe 1980 when Arnold won in Australia. I don't think they had it in those late 70s contests either.
So they couldn't select their own posing music?
Yeah, they just posed to applause. They just posed to the applause of the audience.
Yeah, a lot of them just posed to Exodus, the theme from Exodus. Reg Park, he wasn't in the Olympia at all, but he used to pose to theme from The Glass Mountain, and that made him individual. He was the one that did have a signature music that accompanied them, that you sort of associated with him. But John's quite right. I think we'd be surprised at how maybe rushed everything was, and it wasn't spread out like it is now, over a whole evening. Of course, you've got many more competitors to do it with, but it was more a case, I think, of judging the physique than judging any sort of performance. That was a great posing routine. They were just saying this is the best body.
So what were the compulsory poses back then?
Well, I don't think there were any. They do their own thing. I mean, it was Oscar State that came out with the 7 compulsory poses, which didn't include most Muscular at the time. This was in like 76, 77. He compartmentalized everything and formalized judging procedure into different rounds. So before that, it was a bit of a mix and match, I would think. Right, you come forward, hit a couple of poses, Franco, you do some poses, and we'll compare them, maybe like for like, who knows. There isn't a lot of film of that.
Yeah, one thing that really makes that contest special too, Giles, you have to remember, there was only magazines, and this was held in New York on the East Coast. So all these people in New York, very few of them ever saw these bodybuilders from the West Coast in person. They only saw them in Joe Weider's magazine. So when they were there, it was like seeing a movie star. It was like amazing that you're seeing this guy in person. And Peter mentioned Larry Scott coming out and posing. One thing he did was when they announced him, he stood in the side before he got to the spotlight, and he waited and he waited and he waited, and the crowd was going crazy. So when he finally stepped up on the stage, they went ballistic. They went nuts. And like Peter said, it was like the Beatles. It was like a rock concert. It was unbelievable. And he got this applause for like 10 minutes where they were just screaming, everybody standing up. I mean, it's just inconceivable today to think of that. It's just, it would never happen like that today.
So how many people would they have got at the kind of crowds? How many would they have got in a venue like that?
I don't know. How many would be there, you know?
I think, let's be honest. Joe Weider was a showman. He hyped the attendance. I think he talked about 5,000. My understanding, it was more like 2,500. It wasn't a packed auditorium, but it was a noisy auditorium. Like John says, in those days, and even somebody, we never used to see these guys move. There was no such thing as videos for us to look at. So the only time you saw, and I always use the phrase, see the statues move, is if you saw them live and in person. So when this contest was mooted for New York, obviously the New York bodybuilding community, East Coast, they turned up on force, but you didn't get people flying from California and Wisconsin to come to a contest, not in those days. Flights were much more difficult, but we could come to this at some later point, but the universe was still the big contest for the year. The Olympia was trying to establish itself as the main contest. And of course, Joe was doing everything he could to promote that feeling. But it was a few years before it really overtook the universe.
How many?
Which was held in London. Well, 71, 72 were the sort of, the crucial periods. Arnold was winning the Pro Universe in 68, 69, 70.
Yep.
And then in 71, he was going to defend the title. Bill Pearl was going to enter. He did enter. Sergio was going to enter. And Arnold always said to me he wanted to compete against Bill Pearl. In fact, he didn't actually say, I want to compete against Bill Pearl. He said he really missed being in that contest in 71 because he looked forward to beating Bill Pearl, not competing against him. But then the IFBB brought out this rule that if you went into another federation, you wouldn't be allowed into the IFBB. And that same year, 1971, the Olympia was held in Paris, but Sergio was expelled. Franco was, because they'd already appeared in guest spots for, NABA or some other federation. So Arnold was basically on his own. I know there were some other guys up there, but that was the year that the last year of the universe with Bill Pearl winning, Sergio being second in London, and Reg Park being third. Reg Park being third. That the next year, we had the Olympia with Arnold, Frank Zane, Sergio, Serge Nubret, Franco Colombo. This was in Essen, which is a very controversial contest altogether. So it took a few years. It took sort of 5 or 6 years for the Olympia to establish itself as the premier event.
Was it the? Do you think it was the Joe Weider magazines that really helped to get that Olympia established as the #1 bodybuilding contest in the world?
Yeah, I mean, Joe was a master of hype and everything. And I mean, if you look back at the magazines of the time, Muscle Builder Power was so much more glamorous to look at than the other magazines. I mean, with Joe, it was all visual. He knew bodybuilding is a visual sport. So he really poured it on, showed stacks of photographs, and in a format which, really introduced you into the contest, whereas...
Okay, guys, it is our Olympia Moments segment. Now, last episode, I kind of did some favourite Olympia moments from the 2017 and 2003 Olympia with Ronnie Coleman. This isn't so much... favorite Olympia moment, but this is something I thought was worth discussing, was significant, is okay, the first one, can you turn the sound a little bit? I can hear Dan Solomon's voice a little bit. Yeah, perfect. Yeah, so you can just hear a little bit. Right, this was 2017 Brandon Curry. Now, oh wow, he looks bloody good here. Right, so yes, and the reason I want to talk about this is because this is when Brandon Curry really started to make strides. He was 8th in the Olympia, I think it was 2010 to 2011. And then he was basically, the year before in 2016, he was struggling to even make it to the Olympia. He got last place at the 2016 Olympia. At the press conference, he was asked if he'd be dropping down to 212. And then at the end of 2016, he got the call from Abdullah, coach from Oxygen Gym in Kuwait, and he went out to Kuwait. God, he's posing so clunky compared to it is now. He's so much more of a polished poser now. But as you can see, that he's not actually much smaller than when he won the Olympia in 2019. But as you can see, the legs and the conditioning and the detail really, really have made a lot of strides, certainly in the 2020 Olympia anyway. So that's Brandon at the 2017 Olympia. So let's go to 2 years later. There we go. Okay, this is the 2019 Olympia. This was the one that he won. So it's very impressive to think that in 2016, he's barely making it through to the Olympia on points and basically last place, last call out. 2017, he's winning a pro show, one of the Arnold Classics, and going up to 8th place. He comes back a year later, wins the Arnold Classic in 2018, comes back, places 5th place. Then in 2019, wins the Arnold Classic, beating William Bonac. and then goes and wins the 2019 Mr. Olympia. So let's take a look at Brandon here at the 2019 Olympia. I was at this one, and it was this. I think this posing routine is what sealed the deal for him. There, as you can see, the quality of his posing is so much better than just 2 years previous in 2017. It's so impressive here. He really commanded the stage. Wow. Look at his hamstrings popping out there. Hang on, get the mouse on it. Look at that. Oh, wow. Sorry? Oh, when he was at Brandon Curry. It was about this time last year, wasn't it? He was sat in this very chair in this studio. That was cool with Kamal Elgargni. yeah. So this is Brandon Curry, 2019 Mr. Olympia, the 15th guy to win the Mr. Olympia. Who'd have believed that only 3 years before this guy would now be Mr. Olympia in 2016? I mean, it's absolutely astonishing. It's God, look at his shoulders and arms really popping there. But and in 2020, I know he took second to Ramy, beating Phil Heath, which was maybe previously would never have thought that would happen. But he did it, and he beat Phil Heath. Yeah, he was criticised a bit even when he won the Olympia for his back detail and back kind of everything from the back, really, the conditioning. But he's so full here. I actually interviewed Brandon a couple of days before this in his hotel, and he was so relaxed, so confident, and I think he was about between 245 and 250 for this. But look at the muscularity. Look at his arms popping, man. Wow. Yeah, he's full to bursting here. I think he spilled over a little bit, but he was judged as the best man on that stage. But the fullness, the roundness, I mean, look at that, the front lat spread. I think his condition was still better at the Arnold Classic, but it was enough to win the Mr. Olympia. So, and he's one of only 16 guys to ever do that. So, fantastic. Right. Okay, that's... Yeah, maybe we're going to see him go back and forth with Ramy now for the next couple of years. Oh, something's going on here. Turn this off. Right, okay. How do we stop this? Okay. Okay. Second. We can edit this. Right, okay, this is Kevin Navone at the 2003 Mr. Olympia. Kevin had been second the year before in 2002. I was actually at that Olympia. Ronnie came in smaller that year, and I think that was where he could have been beat, but no one else brought their A game. Kevin Navone didn't bring his A game. His legs were down in size. And this was the one that Kevin Navone, I think he tore his tricep. Yeah, he tore his tricep only a few weeks before. And he still managed to prep, compete, and make the top 6. But this was to be his last Olympia for many, many years. It's not Kevin at his best. He's not as good as he was in 2000 when he took second to Ronnie Coleman, or as good as he was on the Grand Prix tour in 97 when I saw him at the British Grand Prix, where he absolutely destroyed everyone. Everyone. Nasser, Chris Cormier, Paul Dillette, Ronnie Coleman. But Kevin Navone, even when he's at 80%, he's still so impressive. Wow, see the legs are starting to go a little bit there, but yeah, still good enough to make top 6. Actually, arms still huge, but yeah, Kevin Navone, man, what an amazing body. He's my all-time favorite bodybuilder. Good poser, very good poser, one of the best. I'm guessing this routine's not very choreographed. I can tell by the way he's hitting the poses. You can see him thinking about the pose he's hitting next. Still, I can tell because I like watching. I've watched all of his routines hundreds of times. But yeah, he called it a day after this, retired, and then stopped training altogether and was doing videos where doing spoof videos where some guy came up. A couple of guys said, and he says you look just like Kevin Navone, and it was Kevin Navone. But yeah, Kevin Navone, amazing. Fantastic. 94, I think. 94 Olympia, when he took third to Dorian Yates and Sean Ray, was actually my favourite look of Kevin Levrone, because he somehow managed to bring a different look every single year. But yeah, he's not one of my all-time favorites. He is my all-time favorite. Right, okay, so let me show. This is Kevin Levrone 13 years later, making a comeback. I think he was over 50 here. Yeah, 13 years, as the commentator's saying. Can you just turn the sound down a little bit? I'm hearing the commentators can hear voices in my head. See, I was at this Olympia. Sorry, this was 2016. 2017. Amazing. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, he was last place in this one. For me, I was impressed. I was impressed the fact that he managed to come back after 13 years. He had a lot of problems. He was having blood drawn out of his knee a few weeks before, hence why the legs were really kind of downsized. But the upper body, I mean, it's not, the conditioning's good. I don't think he did himself any shame doing this. At least he said he was going to do a comeback, and he did the comeback. But yeah, and he did bring a lot of excitement to this Olympia. A lot of excitement. Yeah, it was good to see him. Good to see him back. Good to see him. Yeah, my all-time favorite bodybuilder there. Okay, let's go to the next one. Right, okay, let's go to... This is the mandatories at the 2016 Mr. Olympia. This is the top 5. Okay, on the left, we have the 7-time Mr. Olympia, Phil Heath. That's Big Ramy there. I don't remember making top 5, top 6. Oh, yeah, it is. Dexter Jackson, the 2008 Mr. Olympia, still going strong. We have Sean Roden there, second in. Big Ramy, and then William Bonac on the far right. So Sean Roden looks very good here. Yeah, it's 2016. 2 more years, and Sean Roden would not just catch up with Phil Heath, but he would beat him. Let's have a look. See Ramy. I mean, he's just a completely different beast now. His condition's not bad here, actually. Not bad at all. He just wasn't quite nailing it like he did at the 2020 Olympia. But as soon as he nailed it, lights out, everyone was in trouble, and he won the Mr. Olympia. But do you know what's significant about this call-out, Colleen? What are 4 of the guys in that 5 got? Yep, 2008, 2018, 2011 to 2017, and 2020. And you've got William Bonac there, who's been second in the Olympia. I think William Bonac's placings have been 13th, 8th, 5th, 3rd, 4th, 2nd, 5th. Who? Bonac. Got what? I'd like to think so, but I don't know. I think he'll be like Sean Ray. I think he'll be a good. I'd be very surprised if he ever fell out of the top 5 ever, unless he gets an injury or he really just loses hope. But Phil Heath's not dominating like I expected here. I think maybe he was missing Kai Green. No, because when these guys are in the shows, like 2007 when Jay Cutler did the Olympia, actually Ronnie was in that one. I think once he knew he'd beat Ronnie, I think they take their foot off the gas a little bit, Jay was always his best when he was chasing someone, and I think with Kai Green not being in this one, saying that, Phil does look absolutely fantastic here. Yeah, fantastic. 4 Mr. Olympias in this top 5 here. Yeah. I forget what William placed in this one. Is this? Well, he would have been 5th. I'm guessing Ramy 4th. Still going. Look. Wow. What if you could see me in the audience? Can you see me? Yeah. I was at this Olympia. It was fantastic. Sorry? I'm down at the front somewhere. That was a good Olympia. Look at that girl with the phone. How annoying. Who is that? I've probably just insulted somebody really important there. No way. Give me a selfie, you bastard. Oh, this is cool. Who is that? I'm going to inspect this footage later. Wonder if I can... Oh, it was Arnold. Have I just insulted Arnold's girlfriend? Was that her? Who's that? Is Arnold? There's Franco. Wow, Franco. Yes, I was direct. I was about 6 rows behind Franco in the press pit. I had my press pass for the. I was in the photographers thing. I was there for Flex magazine, and they put me down as a photographer, so they gave me one of the best seats. And I was just there with my phone, annoying everyone, taking pictures. And they were like, all the photographers were like, why have you got one of the best seats, Giles? Aren't you supposed to be a photographer? So there you go. Anyway, okay, let's stop that. Right, okay. Oh, let's go a little bit. Watch a bit of Jay Cutler. Yeah, let's watch a couple of minutes of this. Why not? So this is the 2000. Oh my God! Look at Ronnie. Oh my God! Game over. 2003 Olympia. Yeah, we showed some of this in the last episode. Gunter. Yeah, you weren't going to beat Ronnie again, mate. You pissed him off. You made Ronnie mad. You do not want to make Ronnie mad, because when he gets mad, he gets big. Yeah, so there's Gunter Schlierkamp, Kevin Navrone.
What year is this?
2003. This was the one I didn't go to. Oh. I know, what a dickhead. Yeah, I was like, oh, Troy Alves is dropping out. So-and-so's dropping out. Ronnie wasn't looking that great at the 2002 Olympia. He was shredded, but, you know, he was impressive. Obviously, he won, but I thought, oh, he's on the decline, so he's probably going to look even worse next year, or not as good. Sorry. And then a few weeks later, he gets beaten by Gunter at the GNC Show of Strength, and he goes, fuck it, let's just get massive. Came back at 287 there. I mean, you can really see how Ronnie just schooled everyone from the back. You know, it was another 2 years really before Jay Cutler really certainly wasn't blown away by Ronnie from the back. The 2005 Olympia, I thought Jay really did the work to really bring his back up. Everything, his glutes, hams, all the detail, the separation, everything, the overall development. Because up to that point, you know, it didn't matter how good he looked from the front or the side. Like at the 2001 Olympia when he took second to Ronnie, he knew he really needed to bring his back up, which he did with 2 back sessions a week. He did one for width, one for thickness. So yeah, so that's cool. Yeah, this was a good Olympia. This is one I wish I'd gone to, just to see Ronnie Coleman when he walked out. Holy shit! Wow. Right. Okay. But yeah. Jay Cutler there looking cool. Still, Jay looked a lot better in 2001. Yeah, he was second again in 2004. Again, the gap between first and second was huge. But 2005, he really closed the gap, and it was close between him and Ronnie. Really close. The year after, he beat Ronnie. Ronnie came back in 2007. Ronnie took 4th, and then Ronnie retired. And yeah. And then Jay went on to win 4 Mr. Olympias. Lost it in 2008 to Dexter Jackson. Came back in 2009 with the famous foot stomp. And just did basically what Ronnie did here. And did a lights out and just kind of destroyed everyone with one of the best Olympia looks of all time. You know? It's a shame we can't... right, okay, I think that'll do. Okay, why does it keep doing this? Okay. Okay, we're going to show one final one. Right, the reason I'm bringing this up... Okay. The reason I'm bringing this up is because people now are raving about Akim Williams, because he took 6th place at the Mr. Olympia in 2020. And they're saying that guys have gone from 6th to 1st. Ramy did it from 2018 to 2020. Ronnie went from 9th to 1st from 97 to 98. And... people are speculating that Akim Williams is tall, wide, got a big enough frame that he could jump up to 1st and beat Ramy. So I put in my column, which is not out yet, which is out in about a month. I said, well, you're forgetting about another tall, wide guy that took 6th in the Olympia. And that's Steve Kucklow from the 2019 Mr. Olympia. Now, he is a guy, 6'1", 270. He's constantly improving. He's really nailing the condition now. And here is someone that, you know, like Akim, he's a guy that if he really put his foot on the gas and made the necessary improvements, who's to say that he couldn't jump up from 6th to 1st? Personally, I'm not sure. I could see him 4th to 6th. But, you know, that's the thing with bodybuilding. You never know. you never know what they can do in a year or in a couple of years. You know, Steve wasn't in the Olympia last year. He decided to sit it out. So he's had time to train, recover, rest, you know, sit in the audience and get that fire going. So, yeah, let's see what he can do in 2021. I spoke to Steve a few weeks ago, and he said he wants to do the Arnold Classic. The Arnold Classic still... Oh, his back's a lot better. I think he needs to bring his back up a lot there. Yeah, this was the first semi-decent posing routine I've ever seen of Steve's as well, because I always give him shit for putting crap routines together. So, anyway, right, okay. And that is... How do we pause it? Yeah. Right, okay then, guys, that's it for our Olympia moments. Selected there from a few different Mr. Olympia contests. And, yep, okay then. We are out. And welcome back to MD Global Muscle here at the On the Rise Media Studio with me, your host, Giles Thomas. And we're joined all the way from somewhere in North London, Eddie Abbew. Yay! Eddie! You love my yays. I knew he'd love it. What? You all right, mate?
I'm good, man. Do you know what? I haven't seen you in ages.
I know. I won't ask where the last time I saw you was. You might say something inappropriate.
I always do, don't I?
Yes, you do. That's why I've got you on, mate. Right. Okay then, mate. Right. Now, I've known you since, well, late 90s, but the first time I ever... What?
Yeah, practically all my bodybuilding career, really.
Yeah, pretty much. So, I mean, the first time I actually saw you on stage was 1995 Wembley Conference Centre.
Was that when Ernie Taylor came and beat all of us?
Yes, he came out of nowhere, didn't he?
Do you know what? I was so angry. I wanted to push him off the stage.
Did you?
No, because he was from Naba, wasn't he? And Ernie came in, and we were not expecting Ernie to turn up.
Yeah.
And he just turned up with his triceps, and literally, I didn't like it. I wasn't happy at all.
The thing is, like, I mean, I remember because there was 20 heavyweights, and I was sat next to Kevin Horton, and I was learning photography, and I was doing some photos there, and of course I was driving him mental, asking him question after question. Rich Farmer came and sat behind us. Remember the 80s? Yeah. The legendary Rich Farmer, the guy who competed against Dorian. Farmer. And then, I mean, that was before the days of the super heavyweights. This was it was the heavyweight class. There was 20 heavyweights, and I just remember the noise when all you guys came out, and what a lineup!
Can you give me 1 second? There's a noise coming on from my. Sorry, can you stop talking, Brandon?
Tell her off. It's nice telly.
Do you know what? Sorry, when you've got kids in the house, right?
Yeah.
He's got headphones on and he's screaming, calling his sister. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Nice.
Sorry, what were we saying?
I'm just trying to recall that amazing heavyweight lineup. Like I said, this is the day before the days of the super heavyweights. And I just remember the place being packed out, and then just all you guys came out one by one, and the whole place just completely erupted.
You know, it was electric. I mean, I've never seen that again since those days. Wembley Conference Centre. And by the time we went on stage, because, you know, the EFBB at the time, they used to delay the shows quite a lot. So you'd end up on stage sometime it's about midnight. But then everyone came to see the heavyweights. Yeah. And you got the big guys walking backstage. You're like, the amount of muscle backstage was incredible. And I mean, it was awesome to see that. Remember the muscle works? They had all those horns.
Yeah, the klaxons. Yeah. I always felt sorry for the person sat in front of them.
Yeah, I know. They didn't care, did they?
No.
You know what? I remember when JD won in '92, the whole of the gym jumped on the stage.
Did they? Yeah.
And they all jumped on the stage with JD holding his broken trophy because, his trophy was broken because, McTeo threw it into the audience.
That was 92.
92, yes.
Yeah, so for the sake of the American viewers, this was, the energy at these British Championships was so electric. This guy, Mick Theo, was a Cypriot, English Cypriot, wasn't he? He lives in London.
Yeah,
and he was, what placing did he get?
what happened was the year before he won the heavyweights. I mean, he was incredible.
He was good.
He won the heavyweights, but they gave the overall to the light heavyweight, Gary Shelmerdine.
That's right.
So the following year when he turned up and he got fourth at the heavyweights, when they called his name, instead of going for the trophy and to go on the stage, just walked off the stage, and then halfway through he thought, hang on, came back, picked up the overall trophy and threw it at the judges. So JD when JD won, he was holding the trophy all broken up like a like a rag doll.
Like all that work, and I know it's not about the trophy, but yay, I got this broken trophy that the guy who got fourth just smashed up. Wow, because that was the first that was the first British finals I went to in '95. So '92, I never went. I mean, I don't know why I never went to them before, because they were like Ian Wadley won in '94, Amory '93, JD '92. Yes. In fact, it was JD. We had JD on last week on the show, and he was talking about you, and he messaged me afterwards. He says, "You've got to get me and Eddie on together." He says, I know. Because he says the banter between us, he says, would be very cool.
No, but JD, because the first time I competed against JD, I saw him when he won.
Yeah.
I remember thinking, he was incredible. But you got to see his back was out. You remember JD, his physique was phenomenal. But then JD is about 5 foot or 5'1"? I'm not sure. That's 5'1" the most.
He's not 5'1". He's not that short.
So, I mean, he was incredible. I remember looking at him thinking, this guy is awesome. So I took 92 off. He put me off competing when I saw.
Did he?
Yeah, because I don't know. He put me off, so I didn't compete in 92.
No way.
No, because he was a monster.
Yeah.
He was just a monster. His back details and his quads. I remember thinking, you can't beat this guy. So I took 92 off. I didn't compete and then I came back in 93.
Yeah. So where are you originally from then, Eddie?
I'm originally from Ghana.
Ghana, yeah, I thought so. I didn't want to say the wrong. I didn't want to seem really ignorant and say like somewhere else and then get flamed for it, you know.
But I went to school in Kenya, so there's a lot of association with me in Kenya because I spent most of my time in life in Kenya when I was going to school. So that's why I did my secondary school education, a boarding school, sixth form, and I came over here. I was initially doing law, and then I wanted to go do law in university in Ghana, and then they closed the university because there was a coup in the country. So I ended up in the UK. And at that time, the UK were importing nurses in case people would think that I came over here to steal people's jobs. No, I didn't. I was invited here to do that job.
Oh, right. Because you're a psychiatric nurse, correct? Is that right?
Yes, I'm a psychiatric nurse, yes. Yeah. So now, in fact, during the pandemic, I did my refresher course on my mental health nursing because there are so many people who are going through, you know what's going on at the moment, you know?
Yeah. Well, to be honest, I'm pretty oblivious to it because I live in the countryside, but I must just be in my lady and the cat.
You're lucky.
Yeah. Well, no gym is stressing me out a bit now, but yeah. So, what year did Ghana kick you out then?
Pardon?
What year did Ghana kick you out?
Do you know what? They kicked me out in 1978. I think it's because I was so loud.
No, I don't believe it. Wow.
No, I left Ghana in 1978. Basically, I won a scholarship because when I was young, I was quite clever. Not anymore. I think all these sort of recreational and bodybuilding drugs have sort of numbed my sort of IQ at the moment. So my IQ level is a bit lower. Yeah. But when I was quite young, so I won a scholarship.
Yeah.
And ended up in a boarding school, like really good boarding school. It's like the Eton of Kenya.
Yeah.
And that's where I went to school. I had my education over there, secondary education. And then when I finished, I couldn't go to university in Kenya because I wasn't a Kenyan citizen. Right. So I went back to Ghana, but there's another coup. University was shut. So that's how I ended up here. So 78 is when I actually left Ghana. I was about 13, 14, and that was it. 17. I've been on my own since, yeah.
Hang on a minute. I'm just trying to work out your age. Because I'm starting to believe you're not 29 like you've been telling me.
Oh, well, I've lied about my age for a very long time. You know that.
Yeah, for 73 years he's been lying about his age now. Okay, sorry guys, we had a bit of connection issues there. So Eddie, we were just saying, Sorry, what are we talking about? Just talking about Kenya.
Yeah, we'll talk about how I went to school in Kenya and ended up back here doing nursing. So I trained as a psychiatric nurse, but it's not a job for a man. Not at that time. It was crazy. I mean, for me, it was 21, 22 years old, and everything that you learn at the nursing school, when you got onto the ward, it was all dynamic, all these behavior modification programs. And then when you go on the wards, you realize that because of resources, you became a cleaner and a carer. So none of the dynamic stuff we learned was practical, and that put me off, because the training was good. It made you self-aware. It made you learn a lot about human behavior. But then when you actually get onto the ward, because the NHS is always understaffed, you end up just, not actually doing any of that. And that put me off. That's one of the reasons why. But my goal has always been to get onto the Olympia stage from the age of 15.
Oh, wow, for 15.
Listen, I don't know, I've never told you the story. I was 15 years old, about 15 years old, and I walked, this boarding school. We had teachers that lived on the premises. It's a big school called Starehe Boys Center. In fact, I'm doing a podcast for Kenya after this.
Okay.
And they basically school holidays for 6 weeks, and I ended up going to an area of the school that I wasn't allowed to. Teachers had quarters, and then I saw one of my teachers, Australian teacher. His name was David Wilson. He had weights. He had some dumbbells. He had a squat bar. And that's when I started bodybuilding. Now, there was a magazine there as well. I wasn't allowed there, by the way. It's a magazine that I saw a picture of Sergio Oliver. Really? And I saw, an old magazine, I saw two movements, concentration curls and dumbbell presses.
Okay.
So I lay on the floor and do these dumbbell presses. By the time school opened, my arms were already nearly 18, 19 inches. So the guys in the school at that time were like, this is like, we're talking about 1980, 81. Yeah. They're like, how'd you get like that? So I started charging people to show them. Then in the end, we found these weights were made from bits of metal and concrete. I mean, we put concrete in cans, tins. So we didn't know how much they weighed. You just get the same thing filled up with concrete. So we're using, those videos that you see of these African kids working out with.
Yes.
I did exactly the same. We had the same weights.
You pioneered it.
In both sides, made our own dumbbells. We didn't know what they weighed. All we knew is that the concretes were the empty cans were the same size. So that's what we trained with. I left school. I had nearly 20-inch biceps just before I left school.
That's crazy. So when did you start properly training for like sort of bodybuilding per se?
Well, then obviously when I started nursing, I had to put everything. But when I tried to go to university, I stopped training when I left school. So when I went back to Ghana, when I came to UK to do nursing, I'd gone down to about 9 stone, and honestly, it was not the best look. When you're 6 foot, I look like a black lollipop.
Okay. Okay, carry on.
So I decided to. So in the nurse's home, there was a room that didn't have a sink, so they couldn't rent it out. It was always empty. So I spoke to the home warden, and she said to me, "Look, you can put some weights in there and start training." This is like 1986. So I bought one of those reader benches that so rickety, those old.
Yeah, I had one. Yeah.
I bought one. I bought some weights that I've still got some of them now.
Wow.
And then those little reader small discs. Yeah. And I make bars, I make dumbbells.
Were they the sand-filled ones or the metal ones?
Oh yeah, yes, those sand-filled ones. I mean, they were massive, big, chunky things. Yeah. Like they said, 5 kilos. I'm like, but that's what I use, because so people ask me about bodybuilding. I said I always say I started training before I decided to become a bodybuilder.
Yeah,
there's a difference. Whereas now it's a bit different. Now people just see pictures of it on social media and they're like, I want to look like that. And then they carry on to trying to get to compete. I enjoyed training before I realized that there was even a sport called bodybuilding. because when I saw the picture of Sergio and I researched a bit further, there was no internet then, and I realized that he had become Miss Olympia. I'm thinking, I got to stand on that stage once.
Yeah.
You know, and that was always my goal.
Yeah.
Then Arnie came on the scene, yeah.
So what drew you to bodybuilding then?
I was just fascinated. Okay, so this doesn't really make sense when I say it, but I was drawn to muscle building rather than bodybuilding as a sport. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. I enjoyed the process of building muscle because I was fascinated within 6 weeks. If I'd grown that amount of muscle in 6 weeks, I was fascinated by how you can manipulate, you can just train and manipulate your food and eat and grow that amount of muscle. So I became addicted to that. Yeah. Then I realized there was bodybuilding and as a sport. So if you ever see my bodybuilding my videos that I like my posing, I hated being on stage. I didn't like. I like the competition aspect of it, but you know when people pose and all this, I find it so pansy. I did. I'm sorry.
Hang on a minute. I've seen your posing, mate, and it's.
You know what? It's pretty shit. It's good. No, you know that.
When you dance on stage, when you dance on stage, and.
Do you know what? The people who I enjoyed watching pose were Darren Charles, Vince Taylor, Rich Gaspari, and you know the guys that and you know like Kai Green, people that danced and entertained us. But you had the guys like Lebrada, an amazing poser. I'm thinking, how do you stand and look in the mirror for that time to do all this pansy stuff? How much do you love yourself? That's how I looked at it.
Oh no, yeah, okay.
I hated it. I absolutely abhorred that. You know, I remember a guy called Malcolm Brown. He was British champion.
Yep, 87, 87 British champion.
That's it.
Yeah.
I think 86 or 87. That's it. He helped me for my first show. Oh, wow. And he was trying to teach me how to pose the classic way. I'm like, I can't do this. And I look in the mirror, I'm thinking, I might as well be playing with myself, crying out loud, this, and that. He had all that. I'm like, I'm not doing any of that shit.
Yeah, don't play with yourself on stage, mate. I think you might get a ban for that.
But you know what I mean?
I'm sure it's happened.
To me, I couldn't relate to that.
I can relate to that, yeah. So, I mean, going back, I've just got triggered a memory as well. I photographed you in '96 at the NABBA Britain when you came third to Deo.
Yes. Yeah.
Third to Deo. I forget the guy. Was it Martin? No, the Warren Dyson was second, was he?
Was it Russian?
No, Deo Audi won, because I remember getting some really nice black and white shots of you. I got some really nice black and white photos of you. Yes. And so I saw you at the '96 NABBA Britain as well.
You know why I did NABBA?
Why?
I got really angry after the '95 finals. I thought, if you, Ernie Taylor, are coming to our federation to destroy us, I'm going to go to your federation and fuck it up too. That was why I did it. That was the reason why I did it. Wow. But but Deo's condition was a bit better than mine. I mean, he deserved to win. So yeah.
Yeah. No, you look really good.
That's
at that
why
one.
I did.
You look really good. You look really good because your thing is your conditioning's always been good.
I did my lower back in when I was 21, and that tended to sort of follow me all throughout my career. So I couldn't do any heavy squats. I had to be very careful. I still got it. So I always have to train. If I don't train for about 5 or 6 weeks, my back just gives up. So it's something that I've had to. I tell you how I did my back in. I was in the shop in the late 80s, and there was this kid who was working in a sports shop, selling weights, and he was standing there, he had knee wraps and elbow support and belt and everything, and he was squatting. He had 140 kilos on the bar, and everyone standing in the shop was clapping. And I'm thinking, I'm 21. I'm thinking, oh, I said I can do 25 reps without any of that shit. Knee wrap. So they're like, go on then. So I get under the bar. Listen to this. Yeah. No warm up. No, ego. Just, So I got on there, bang, bang, bang. I did 25 reps. When I left the shop, I couldn't get into the bus because my back was gone.
Oh.
And I've lived with that all my life. That little ego.
Oh, no. You silly sod.
I know. You know me, you know.
Wow. So, shit. So, I mean, obviously, then 95, you got pissed off and went to NABBA. And then, 96, you did the Britain because there was Jamo.
Again, yeah.
Jamo, because Jamo, Sean Davis won in 96.
Davis,
yeah.
Jamo never won.
I know, don't rub it in.
I do rub it in when I see him, yeah. I always do.
Yeah. So I didn't go to 96, but I went to 97. And that, for me, was one of the best British finals of all time. The big thing was when Steve Crichton lost by 1 point to Linville Miller in the light heavyweights. That really hurt him because he looked so good as well.
Even when I was tipped to win that year, but I went to the qualifier. And you know how you get a bit arrogant? And I went to the qualifier 2 weeks before. And then there was used to be one of the judges. Her name is Paula Yates.
I remember
Remember Paula Yates?
Yeah,
she was a judge.
Vaguely, yeah.
Yeah, and the show, I forgot where the show was. And then she called me, said to me, Eddie, if you come in looking at that shit, I won the qualifier. I beat, Elvis,
Pete Brown. Pete Brown, yeah.
I beat him, but it was in better condition. He was pissed. But I know I beat him because I was much bigger than him and overpowered him. But I wasn't in condition, so I was told. She told me, "Look, you come in looking that shit, you will win the final." So I went to Patrick Nichols for the last 2 weeks, and I said to him, "Look,
did you?
Yeah, Patrick is the one who got me ready for the Britain." He goes to me, "Do that." And you know how you were told about drugs. This is important, right? So I went in there. Patrick asked me what I was taking, so I told him this and that. He said, "Stop." He put me on 10 Dynaballs a day. That's how I won the Britain. Nothing else.
That's
10 Dynaballs.
Wow.
Right? And then he put me on cod. I had cod for me 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6.
Oh.
Cod and vegetables. And that's what I ate. And then he made me do cardio. I was doing cardio like 2 hours every day, but it's low intensity cardio. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
2 hours a day. And then I knew I was ready.
Yeah.
Patrick punished me, and then he said to me, "We're going to carb load on Thursday." So I go on Thursday, I bought this rice cakes, I'm really happy, and then Patrick comes, Patrick, he starts his sentence by saying, he goes, I think we should do another day. I came home and I went into my bedroom and I started crying. It was so, I was bawling my eyes out.
Yeah.
My wife's like, "What's wrong with you?" I'm like, "I can't do another day." She goes, "Man, for fuck's sake, you've done it for these many days. Eating cod and veg 6 times a day.
For breakfast.
Yeah. For about 8 days. And then the thing is, even cod smell my pores.
You'll stink. You smell it. It emanates from your body.
I walk to gym, people like, "Eddie, have you had a shower?" I'm like, "Shut up. What's about a shower? I've also had cod." You know what I mean?
Your nickname should have been Mercury Man.
Yeah, it should be.
Mercury Man, Eddie Abbew.
You know, I blend my food. I've always blended. You know that I blend my chicken, don't you?
What?
I blend my chicken.
You blamed your chicken. Okay, explain.
I blend it and drink it.
Oh, blend it. I thought you said blamed. I was like, what are you blaming your chicken for?
No, I've always done that. I've always done it.
You've triggered a memory because I remember I heard that you were the one that kind of pioneered the chicken and you blended your chicken. Sorry, explain.
Yes.
Tell us what you did just for because you couldn't. You're not a big eater, are you?
No, I'm not a big eater. I'm not a big eater at all. I mean, I'm from Africa where there was no food. If you're a big eater, you're in trouble.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
They'd eat you. Yeah.
So I'm not a big eater. So I had to eat 1.5 kilos of chicken every day, and to me that was just too much. So I found a way of just cooking in the oven and then put it in the blender and just knocking it back, and it was so easy. I still do it now. 3 of my meals are blended chicken every single day. I've done that since the 90s.
But so, isn't that just like soup?
No, it's not. Well, I put a little bit of carb powder in it and I put some green veg in it. So it may say it's a bit like soup, but then I don't even taste it. I just open my throat and throw it back in, back down there, and then that's it.
Saves chewing.
Yeah, do you know what? It saves me time.
Okay.
And it saved me, I've always done it. And I know a lot of people do in the industry, but I started that stupid practice.
You're to blame.
It works.
Yeah. No, because I remember, sorry, in some in Nabas, some of the guys were doing the 2 cans of tuna with Coca-Cola and lime juice, lime cordial.
And sometimes pineapple. I used to blend a lot of pineapple. You know what? The worst I've ever done, because I couldn't put on weight, because I had I've got a very fast metabolism.
That's
even
right,
though
yeah.
you remember that.
Yeah.
I used to struggle to actually get ready for a show, because sometimes I'd get ready and I'll be the same weight as I was off season on stage, but leaner.
Yeah.
You know, because I struggled to put on weight. So I had this idea that I was going to try and get 10,000 calories in every single day.
Okay.
So, yeah, you got digestive enzymes coming in.
Yeah.
And then all I did was I'd blend everything. I remember once I was nursing and we're in a meeting, and then I had this Casio watch that I used to beep when it was time to eat. It went beep, beep. And I was conducting the meeting. I'm looking around thinking, my mind's gone, because to me, I had to eat.
Yeah. And
then they had doctors and the occupational therapists, they all sitting there presenting a patient. I said to them, can you give me a minute? I need to. So wow. I had tuna fish sandwiches. This is how it started. So I put these tuna fish sandwiches in the blender. I poured half a bottle of Ribena into it. I poured milk into it. I opened this on the wall, because we had all that food. We had ice cream, put some ice cream in it, and peanut butter, and I knocked it back. And throughout the meeting, I could hear this. They were dancing in my stomach. You know, I could hear this.
Yeah, go on. Tell us.
And you know what? It was just awful. Halfway through, I drank it. Halfway through, some of it came out and actually knocked it back. I'm like, I'm not wasting that calories. You know, it was just a chore trying to put on weight. I couldn't. I'm not one of those people that put on weight easily. So that's how I had to eat.
No, but the thing is, because you're a tall guy, you got a big frame, you compete very, very heavy, but I've never seen you looking like you kind of, like you said, you're someone that kind of your body composition just changes a little bit, doesn't it? So what would you be off season? Would your body weight go down or up?
That depended on how. When I turned pro, it was different, because you had to focus on trying to keep bigger and get bigger. But in the past, I didn't bother. You know, I'd eat donuts, the stuff that I used to eat, because I'd make sure that I had all my 6 meals of protein in a day, but everything else was extra. So in a way, I couldn't eat. When I came to contest prep, I knew that I had to focus. So my weight would start going up when I started contest prep. Yeah. And then sometimes it would come down. So that's why I used to get a lot of guest spots. Remember, what's his name? Julian Feinstein. Even though I was shit on stage, right? Yeah. Julian Feinstein had me doing the the Southeast UK BFF Southeast, the EABB Southeast qualifier. Yeah. I did a guest spot like 6 years in a row. Do you remember? He used to run the Stars of Tomorrow as well.
Was that the one in Hayes?
In Hayes, that's it.
Yeah. I used to live there in '99. I used to live there. I went to the one in '99.
Oh, and then one year, somebody shouted from the audience, "We're sick of Eddie."
That was me in '99.
And then I used to do a routine with Julian's son. Yeah. And get him on the stage, and there's a bit of banter, because I always had banter on stage, because I wasn't a poser, because I didn't like the posing. I liked being on stage and just mucking around. You know, I've never been serious. You know that. Yeah. You know.
Do you remember when you guest posed with Grant Thomas in Wales in '99?
Oh yes.
Yeah, Grant. I remember that. Yeah. That was good, because they brought you on individually, and then they brought you on together, because he was a new pro he turned pro in '98, you turned pro in '97, and then they just thought, sorry, let's get them on stage together, and the crowd was going crazy.
This are the days, though, isn't it? I mean, you don't get. I don't know if we'll ever get that back in bodybuilding, and it saddens me, because it doesn't have that wow and the awe factor that we had back in the day. Back in the day, a bodybuilder, like pro bodybuilder, walks into a room and you're like, shit. Yeah. It was awesome to see the IFBB pros. They've come in and you look at them and you think, that's what I want to look like. Now I don't, it doesn't. I don't know if you know what I'm trying to say. I don't get that kind of same feeling as I used to get. Yeah. It was electric then.
I remember when Dorian guest posed at the British, and I think it was in '94, and it was just like, holy shit.
He was just. And it was just immense. I remember watching him walk. I'm like, this guy's chest, his top part was coming over like that. It's massive. And then, And the thing is, the place was packed. That was the main thing.
Yeah.
It was packed. People wanted to see. I think bodybuilding was a different sport than it is now. Would you say that?
Well, there's more categories now, isn't there? There's obviously more. So it is, and it is. The sport has changed. I think in some ways it's grown, but in other ways, you know, for us bodybuilding purists, maybe it's not. Like you said, that same excitement. Because I remember when I can visualize it, being sat next to Kevin Horton in '95 at the Wembley Conference Centre. The heavyweights came out, and there was 20 of you, and everyone looked great.
Yeah.
And I just remember there was Lenny Senseur, there was you, Jamo Nazar, Ernie Taylor, Sean Davis. I mean, Sean Davis was, what was he, 5th? And I think, because remember Jamo got 4th, and he was going, time out. He was doing that. And he was like, and the 3rd, 2nd, and 1st were being announced, and he was still walking up and down the stage, kicking off.
I know.
Pissed off, man. He was pissed off.
It was insane. I mean, and the quality of the physiques were absolutely immense. I mean, you remember Ricky Welling? Ricky Welling was in the 95.
Incredible. He turned pro.
I mean, I got him ready. He became my training partner for. I'm the one that got him ready.
That's right. Yeah, you are. You trained with Ricky Welling for years, didn't you?
It was. I got Ricky Welling his pro card. It was in like a one of those things where. It's an achievement, isn't it, for a blind person to actually win the overall British champion and get his pro card. That was incredible. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, because wasn't he a jeweler?
Pardon?
Wasn't he a jewel dealer?
No.
Oh, okay. Well, moving on.
He used to work for a carpet company called Fishpools.
Okay.
In that, but. He was never a jewel dealer. No, if he dealt some jewels to you, they were stolen.
No, because I remember hearing a story because he was a brutally strong guy, and I heard he was squatting like 6 plates or something, and the electricity went off in the gym, and of course he's blind. He just carried on training.
No, do you know what? I was there.
Okay.
He was like, "What's the deal with you guys?" Ricky, we can't see. Well, it doesn't bother me. But then what we used to do was, right, Ricky, he was very strong and he used to push me. I mean, especially on legs, and I needed to build my legs. So a lot of the time, but he turned to be a bit lazy sometimes. He'd be like, "Oh no, I'm not doing that way." So when he got ready, he'd feel like on the leg press, he'd load it up, and then he says only 10 plates. He said, "Okay," so he'll feel all the 10 plates with his fingers, and to be sure there were 10. But I had people standing by waiting. Then as soon as he sat down, the weights would be piled on. And he in his mind, he was doing 10 plates, but he wasn't. He was doing about 15.
Yeah.
And he'd get up and he'd be like, "That was a bit heavy." And then he'd count it and he'd be so mad at me. I was constant.
Oh, that's really... I don't know whether that's mean or really cool.
Well, I wanted him to push me, and that's the only way that worked, you know? I mean, there was once when we were doing a Smith machine squat. I had 6 plates aside, and he was squatting for me. And then the machine wasn't what's the word? You know when you glue stick it to the bottom? It wasn't.
Was it pinned down? Oh God, you have to have a Smith machine pinned down.
That's it. It wasn't. So it wasn't just screwed to the floor. So halfway through my set, the whole Smith machine started coming backwards.
Oh shit!
Now Ricky can't see. He's going, "Go on, 2 more," and then everyone in the gym's running to push the machine back. Ricky, because you forget little things like that. And I'm like, shit, we both could have died. But he was oblivious to it. It's an achievement to actually achieve that when you've got no sight. That's incredible.
Like you're saying about Leela Brada and these other bodybuilders kind of like spend all this time on posing, and it's like, and this guy, what is he doing this for? Why is he, if he can't see himself and then he wanted to be a bodybuilder and to be a pro bodybuilder. It's like, how does he compare or know how good he is? It's like, does he get up thinking? Does he think I have no perception of how I look? It's a really.
I know.
What motivates him?
Absolutely. It was a thing where we had to be his eyes.
Yeah.
We had to be his eyes, and I used to say to people in the gym when he was prepping for a show, please don't give him compliments. I tell you why, because his arms were the first to come through. So, and he wears sleeveless stuff. So when he saw Ricky's arms were lean, but the rest of him wasn't. So people would be like, "Oh, Ricky, you're looking good." And then he would take the foot off the pedal a little bit. So I said to people in the gym, don't tell him, don't compliment him. So just to make him work harder. And that worked. He won in 90. What year? 2001 or 2000? Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was 2002. I've got 2002 in my head. 2001 was Simon Cohen.
Oh, 2002 then, yeah.
Yeah, 2002. Yeah. And he did the Grand Prix, and he did San Francisco. He did a few pro shows, and he was fantastic. Big Grand Prix he did against the top pros, Jay and Ronnie and all those. So so obviously you turned pro in 97 by winning the British finals. You took 2 years off, and then tell us about your pro debut.
Okay, now my pro debut was in Toronto, and I don't know if you know Fivos.
You know,
yeah,
I know him. Yeah, the photographer. Yeah.
Fivos came with me, and I had him a training partner, a girl with me. You remember Eleanor Kane was my training partner. Ellie, her name was Ellie, redhead girl.
Yes, of course, the tall girl. She competed in WPF.
Completely, yes. So we all went into the show. Now, before I went, at the time I was sponsored by Metrics. Naeem, remember Naeem?
Yeah. Who used to make your metrics for you?
Absolutely, you used to. I know.
Do you know what? Do you know what an Eddie Abbew special is? It's a sachet of metrics, and I remember you said, "No, I want 80 grams of protein." So put a sachet of metrics and 2 scoops of the protein plus on top. I was like, "Can your body even absorb that?" And I remember it was so thick, it was like a dessert, and you just sit there chugging away. And I was like, "Okay, whatever you want, mate." You know.
But do you know what? We're all different. My protein intake was between 70 and 80 grams per meal. It always has been.
Wow.
Now I've dropped it. When I retired, I dropped to about 50, and that's how it's always been per every single meal, 6 times a day. Now, what was the question again? You asked me about
Pro debut Toronto.
Pro debut. So I wanted. When I got the letters through, because I was training with Charlie, and Charlie really doesn't tell you much. He doesn't really tell you, he never, I'm going to be honest, Charlie Claremont was my training partner.
Okay.
It was my training partner all through his IFB pro career, all throughout, you know what I mean?
Wow.
But at that time, people didn't share much information, so I didn't get much from him. So that's why Patrick Nichols got me ready. So I had to get myself ready for the Toronto Pro 1999, my first pro show. So when I applied for the show and I got the letter through, it told us about all the drug tests that they're going to do, and you know how the letters came. They were legally sound.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking they're going to do a drug test. So I turn up, I start my prep, and then 6 weeks before the show, I come off everything completely, except a labial clenbuterol. This is the thing. Labial clenbuterol, because I thought they're going to do a drug test. I read it literally. I didn't know any different. So I turned up the show, and I'm backstage. The show was won by Art Atwood, the late Art
Atwood. Yeah, he was fantastic.
He's a really nice guy. I spent a lot of time talking to him. So after compared to this meeting, blah blah blah, and then we were backstage, and I said to Art, so he was standing there. His chest was hanging down. I don't know if you remember.
His chest and back was ridiculous.
Absolutely incredible. Yeah. And I said to him, so when is the urine test? And then he looks at me and he goes to me, Eddie, you're a funny guy. I'm like, why? He goes, if they do a urine test and there's nothing in your urine, they'll disqualify you.
Yeah.
That was a joke. And I remember thinking, so I've done this show bloody naturally, like, without, I didn't know. Then I realized that the letter was just
standard
information. They talk about drugs. They're going to drugs.
Hang on a minute, Eddie. So you came off everything 6 weeks before. What did you weigh on? Because you're 6 foot tall. What did you weigh on stage?
Well, I was heavy still, but then I was smooth.
Right. Okay. So the look of the muscle wasn't.
No, I was about 268. 262 between to about 260. And that I was competed around 270 plus, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I always, when people ask me why I was that heavy, I always say to them, because I had my third leg is quite heavy. So I had to try. It's a joke. Come on. It's just a joke.
Yeah, you'd be 200 pounds on stage without it.
So I turned the show, and I'm literally 100%, natural. I was standing on that stage, you feel like I still got. I was in the 4th call out. I think I came 14th, and I remember thinking, okay, so that's how they play the game, So I stopped and I competed again. That was my first pro show. My experience was, I remember thinking, damn. And I remember I wanted to ask Dorian. I asked somebody to ask Dorian how to take stuff into the States. Yeah. You know, like things like diuretics, because I thought I could beat the drug test but then you can, you know, do the drug, the urine test, and then take the Lasix very quickly, you know?
Yeah.
So they would know. That was the idea. So I'm asking Dorian, so how do you take that? And he goes, oh, if you want me to get you ready, I'll charge you this amount. And I thought, okay, leave him out there. You know, so I didn't ask. So I never had any idea of what was going to happen. I just turned up. Then I found out I was a natural. I should be doing the BMBF.
BMBF, yeah, 5 years natural. It's 5 years, not 5 weeks, mate.
Yeah. To a bodybuilder, for a pro bodybuilder, I might as well have been. Yeah. I remember standing there looking at myself thinking, damn man, you look shit. Because I was, then after that I realized that. And then I started doing better. Yeah. My first pro show in the States was my best show in my eyes. The best pro show I ever did was the one in the States, not my qualification for the Olympia. Yeah. My first pro show, the Night of the Champions.
Yeah. So that was won by Jay Cutler, wasn't it?
Yes. Yeah. Do you remember that?
Yeah, I remember it well. Marcus Rule's in it.
Paul Dillett.
Yeah, Paul Dillett was in it. Yeah, because Paul Dillett won the year before, and there was riots because they said he shouldn't have. Dexter Jackson.
Lee Priest.
Yeah.
Melvin Anthony.
Yes, Melvin. I was speaking of Melvin yesterday, actually.
JD.
Wow.
So this is how it was, right? I did the in the year before, was it when I did the Toronto? Afterwards I did the European show, and I saw Wayne D'Amelia, and when I got off stage, he came up to me and said to me, "Listen, I tell you what I wanted to do. I wanted to go home and stop training your upper body for about 3-4 months.
Okay.
And just train your legs. And then see if you've made any improvements when it comes to, and then do the Night of Champions." He goes, "I love your upper body. Everything is there. You got a small waist. Just get your legs up. So stop training your upper body." You know, mentally I'm thinking, I can't do that. How can you stop training your upper body? But I decided to listen to him. So I went back home, right?
Yeah.
And on Monday, and just I'll tell you this story, right? And we backed up by the guy who used to do my injections for me, or get his name is Abs, the guy who owns Body Limit Gym. Okay.
Yeah.
What all I took that time was 200 milligrams of Deca. That's 4 Deca durable. Abs would tell for that. 4 Deca durables. And what I did, 4 50 milligram shots.
The 50 mgs, so yeah, that's for girls, mate.
That's how I got ready. So I was not very big, but you know what I mean. So I went home. Monday I did quads by themselves. Tuesday I did hamstrings and calves, and then Wednesday I rested. Thursday quads again. Friday hamstrings and calves, and that's what I did for about 5-6 months.
So what, did your upper body shrink that much, or was it just your legs just exploded?
No, you know what? I grew. Yeah. And then when I started training, really? I swear to God, you'd be surprised. I started putting on weight because I didn't know what was happening to me. Then when I started training upper body again, I I found myself. So at that show, when I saw the names, I remember thinking, bloody hell, look at the names that you've just mentioned. They were all there were 48 competitors on stage.
Holy shit.
48.
Yeah.
I remember when I saw Lee Priest. Lee Priest was on the floor doing push-up. And I remember looking and thinking, who is that kid? Because Lee Priest is about that big. And when he's lying, when he was lying on the floor, I remember thinking, what's that kid? And then he stood up. I'm like, shit. Because he's short, he's so deceiving. You don't realize. And I don't think his back was quite high as well. So when he was doing push-ups on the floor, all I saw was a kid. And then he got up. I'm like, damn, that's Lee Priest.
Yeah.
But my goal was to beat the Brits because there were 3 former British champions competing with me.
Yeah.
JD and Sean Davis. And every single morning, I didn't care about placing at the show. I just wanted to beat them. That's how it was.
No, it's a pride of Britain thing. It's a gauge of your. Yeah. It's something you want to do. I can understand that completely. Yeah, it's pride of Britain.
I mean, JD was somebody I was looking up in the magazines when I was growing up.
Yeah.
It was my hero, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
And Sean Davis just won beat me at the British Finals '96, and my goal was to beat them. And when I got my clothes off backstage, I knew I was on because I had to delay my flight for about. I was in the second call out.
Wow.
I was in the second call out, so I was in the top 10. You know. And I was in the top 10. I don't know what JD plays, but it was in the wilderness somewhere, and Sean Davis was. And I remember thinking, yeah, I beat you, motherfuckers. But that's. I mean, they were not there to compete. But then I think deep down, as a Brit, you just think, you know, I want to beat these guys. Yeah. And it was the Brits, and I came on top. Yeah. You know.
Thing is,
I had to delay my fight. I had so many photo shoots, literally had so many photo shoots, and then that's the first time the Weeders actually gave me money.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah, I was given money, put in an apartment. I'm like, yes, this is a life.
Nice.
You know. And when I got to the show, when I got there, I'd made so many mistakes. This is the thing. I'd made so many mistakes that I couldn't even my carb loading. I didn't know where to get. In the end, I ended up carb loading on bread. Listen to this, Giles. bread and peanut butter. Eleanor was there with me.
Yeah.
On bread and peanut butter. That's what carb was on. Okay. And Sean Davis and I shared an apartment because I think Prola paid for our whatever.
Right. Yeah.
You know. And then So and it made a massive big difference. I remember thinking, how can he kill? It's like sodium-free bread. It was so. And I remember feeling I had so much bread, and then literally just stopped my water.
Yeah.
And I felt myself just filling out. But I wasn't the biggest, but all the lines were there. The symmetry I'd improved it. And Wayne immediately he came and he said to me, you know what? After the show, he goes to me, I'm taking your what's it called? I pay for your hotel bill. I pay for this. I pay for your flight. Then that's when he started looking after me. Then, you know.
Yeah. So, because thing is, you were like I said, 270 plus, but your waist was absolutely tiny. And you have the frontal bike. You got those gigantic arms, and it just came down. And like I've seen plenty of big physiques, but they've got thick waists and big bellies, and you never had that, did you? How did you manage to keep your waist so small?
I always had a small waist, but we used to train. Listen to this. We used to train to avoid getting thick waist. So you never catch me do a deadlift.
Okay.
The only time you see me bending over is when I'm doing my shoelaces. I'm not doing no deadlifts. You know what I mean?
Okay.
I did some bend over rows, but you would never catch me even up to now because every time I did a deadlift, it taking my waist. I felt it, so I avoided deadlifts. I used to know those twists. Pre-contest, I did like 5 minutes every single day.
Yeah.
Because I learned from Lee Haney. Lee Haney used to do them from every angle, remember?
Yeah. We all did them. We all did them with that broomstick in the gyms.
No, but I know. If you work for Lee Haney, why not? These are old school stuff, and it worked.
Yeah.
And so it was about trying to keep my waist as small as possible every morning. Yeah. You'd vacuum, you'd try and keep the waist down. And I trained wearing a tight belt, even when I was doing like calves. When I was, every movement I did, because I just wanted to keep my midsection tight, whether it's an old wives' tale or not. It worked for me.
Did you ever use things like growth and insulin, and did that affect the stomach at all?
I think when things got like that, when my stomach got a bit bigger, my waist got a bit thicker, was when I did insulin.
Yeah.
I was not much for the growth thing. I just think, to me, it was just a waste of money. Yeah. Honestly, I thought it was a waste of money because nobody had proven to me that the benefit and the amount people were asking me to take, I couldn't afford it. I mean, come on. Yeah. So I just, insulin is what worked for me very, very well later on when I worked with Milos.
Yeah. Oh, you worked with Milos. So obviously the 2000, you said that was your favorite kind of show overall.
Yes.
Take us on to the next kind of significant pro show for you and what happened.
So from then on, I started, trying. I wanted to learn different methods of contest prep through experimenting with myself.
In what way?
So I'll try something different. I tried something every show. I tried something different. Sometimes it would work. Sometimes it wouldn't work. I tried different carb loading, and then eventually, I think it was about 2003, 2004. I went to the Ironman And Ernie Taylor was there. And he said to me,
the Iron Man, yeah. Was this how many times? Sorry to interrupt. How many times did you do the Iron Man?
I think I did the Iron Man 3 or 4 times.
Yeah, and you
no. I think before that, I think I did the Iron. I'm thinking about it was 5 or 6. Yeah, 5 or 6.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, I did the Iron Man. I tell you why I always did the Iron Man, because I'm not a Christmas person. I just don't buy that Christmas bullshit.
Okay.
So, no, I don't. I'm not one of those. Even now on Christmas Day, I still open my gym. I go in there. People come and train. Yeah. And a lot of the people who come in, I ask them, "Why do you come?" I say, "Well, I need to get away from my wife for a little while." Do you know what I mean? Or I need to get away from my partner for a little while. You know? So people come in, and so I used to diet over Christmas.
Okay.
Whereas nobody else liked to. So I was always in a good condition. My condition was good at the beginning of the year. That's why I liked the Iron Man, you know. And so Ernie Taylor said to me, "Why did you talk to Milos?" He was working with Milos then. So I went inside with Milos. I worked. I'm going to stay there for a little while. And opposite his gym, there was these hotels, and they had 2 hotels, right? One of them was an expensive, what's it called, Marriott, where it's their apartment.
Yeah.
And then one of them was a little shithole that people like me who couldn't afford it. It's only when you made it and the weeders paid for you to stay in there to do a photo shoot.
Oh, so all the bodybuilders are like, all the balling ones are all like out, you know, with their cocktails and they're pretty, you know, and the other the other bodybuilders are in the shitty little cheap one, like,
That's what it was like, though, wasn't it?
Yeah.
You end up. I mean, there's this, you know, but you know, bodybuilding it's not about equality. It's the people who are doing well, they're the ones who get looked after. You know that. Yeah. You know. Yeah. I remember. I'll tell you a quick story. 2010, we're doing the Australian. This is my last show, Australian Pro in Melbourne. Yeah. And so there was me. There was we talk about the black guys in the crowd. I'll come to why in a minute. I think there was Dexter, there was Melvin, there was me, there was Kai Green, and then Tony Doherty. Tony Doherty, he says, right, without asking us, we get to the airport, and there's no transport for us. I'm thinking, why? We pick you up. The transport has been used to take Kai Green's girlfriend shopping.
What?
So I know. Bearing in mind, Kai Green has been paid to do this show, and then he was going to win anyway. Nobody's going to beat him. He was just won the other classic. Yeah. So that
was the best Kai Green I've ever seen, by the way. 2010 Australian. That is for me the best package he ever brought in all of his career.
Do you know? I got a video that I filmed of him. I mean, he was leaning over, and I remember thinking, "Wow, his hamstrings had hamstrings on them." If you know what I mean, right? So Kai Green was. So
he's got triceps.
Transport is taking Kai Green's girlfriend. So we're all not happy that he was getting preferential treatment, like really badly. They're just literally just rubbing it in our faces straight away. And then, so at the interval, Johnny Doherty comes up and he's got 5 Afro wigs. Listen to this.
What?
And then he says, 5 Afro wigs, big Afro wigs. He says, guys, I got an idea. Without asking us, he bought these 5 Afro wigs. I said, I'm going to play ABC, Michael Jackson, and you guys are going to come on and do a routine. Listen to this, right?
I don't believe this.
And do a routine.
No.
And we were sitting backstage thinking, I was eating a Chinese at that time. Yeah. We were sitting backstage getting one, and then he came in, and then Melvin looks at him, and he looks at us, he goes to me, you know what? Why didn't you ask Kai Green to become Tito, Michael, and fucking Jermaine? I ain't doing it, so we never did it.
I'm speechless.
I know. I mean, without asking us, I'm thinking, hang on, you expect me to get on that stage? I mean, without choreography, without being told, get on that stage and do A, B, C.
Oh, no! Oh, my God!
Yes, 1, 2, 3, that's the one.
Okay. So I wonder what happened to those Afro wigs. I mean, my God. Okay.
No, I mean, that show.
Yeah. That
was another show. I think there was Melvin Anthony was standing on stage. I think it was naturally being sponsored by Gaspari Nutrition.
Who? Sorry, who?
I don't know who it was. I don't know if he did Taddy Yamagishi or something, that show.
Hide, probably Hide.
It might, I think it was Hide, anyway. But they were on the stage, and then Gaspari was talking to another judge, pointing at Melvin and saying, I think that person looks better than Melvin.
Okay.
And it looks better than Melvin. And then Melvin shouts on stage, I can hear you.
Okay.
Right? I can hear you. So Gaspari says, well, I don't care.
Okay.
And then he says, of course you think he looks better than me because he's blocky. I forgot which athlete is blocky just like you. That's what Melvin, there's this exchange on the stage.
Oh, wow. Okay. Okay.
Of course he looks like you because he's blocky just like you. And we're thinking, oh, God. In there's an argument between Melvin Anthony and Gaspari on the stage.
Holy shit. Okay.
I know.
So you were literally witness to all these crazy events then.
But I mean, I think people don't talk about it. They're funny. Now I look at them, but I smile when I think about it because Melvin, he doesn't keep his mouth shut. He just say what's on his mind.
Yeah.
He was just saying, he says, oh, because he looks blocky just like you, you know.
Yeah. So let's talk. For me, I think your most successful placing was when you took, was it third at the 2007 Ironman to Tony Freeman?
Yeah.
Was Hide second?
No.
Who was second?
Hide wasn't the top. No, Mark Dugdale.
Mark Dugdale was second, but you were third.
Yes.
And I just remember that amazing lighting. And I think whenever I've seen you doing signed pictures, you've always had it from that Ironman because the lighting, because they're so, you just look amazing. Obviously, you looked amazing, but just great lighting and everything.
Do you know, I tell you why I was happy with that show, because I did 3 shows in one weekend. The European tour.
Yes.
So around October the year before, it was me, Hidetada, Ronnie, and Jay Cutler. Only 4 of us did all those 3 shows. So we go into the stage, and then you compete. The first one was in Austria, in Graz, and it's from. So we got on the stage, do the show, and then go to the competitors, meet the athletes where they pay. The public paid to, eat with you, and then, but we didn't matter because we are not in the top, whatever. So it's all about Jay and Ronnie at the time. So you get on the stage, and then straight away you move on to the next. You get on the plane, 4:00, you're back in Holland, in Romania, and then that's Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And that weekend, I learned so much about my physique and about what worked for me, because I was experimenting. Every show I experimented. And I was watching Ronnie and Jay. I was watching what they ate. I never saw Jay Cutler drink a sip of water for all those days. Not once.
Wow.
I never saw them.
No fluid. You saw him drink no fluid.
I never saw him drinking the fluid. And I thought, he ain't drinking fluid. I ain't drinking no fluid. So I just carb loaded. And then I got it together. And then a few months after that, a month after that, started dieting for the Ironman. I wrote everything I needed to do down. So
we'll come back to the Ironman, but I remember very, very well. I was very excited because you got a call out in Austria with Ronnie and Jay, didn't you?
Yeah.
So what was that like? Tell us what it was like doing the tour with those guys, because I remember, because obviously Ronnie had just lost the tour, and then he kind of I remember he was really strict with his food on that tour because he wanted to beat Jay on the tour and get it back, and he kind of pulled it back a little bit because he lost the Olympia very, very narrowly. And I remember thinking, shit, he maybe could have won a couple of those Grand Prix, but you were right, you actually stood right next to him on stage.
I think Ronnie, Jay Cutler was the golden boy then. I mean, Ronnie wasn't going to win, but it was just standing next to those guys was something else. I remember Ronnie sitting backstage, and I looked at the back of him. He was sitting, leaning like that. Yeah. He just looked obese. He looked like a really fat person. And I know it doesn't make any sense because things were hanging down on the man. And I'm like, what part of the body is that? But then I got very friendly with Jay, because Jay is a really nice guy. He spoke to me. He said to me, look, Eddie, bring your legs up a little bit, and you can and get a bit conditioned, blah, 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 and try again. Because I was going to retire. I didn't have. I said, no, don't retire. Just do it. There's a picture of me and Jay Cutler when I'm holding the trophy. They gave us massive big trophies, the top 5 big trophies that cost me 150 quid to euros to transport it with me. Yeah. And then when I came to the airport, they smashed it up to see what was inside. They thought Holland, I was bringing drugs. Anyway, so Jay Cutler. Jay Cutler spoke to me. He was quite friendly. But Ronnie, I was doing my tan, and I used to put just a tiny little bit of Dream Tan.
Yeah.
And then I put, the 1 cow spray. Because if you don't, I don't know if you realize, but I'm midnight black. I'm not one of those like.
No, you are. I remember you told me, I think for the 97 British, you used 13 coats of Pro Tan. Is that correct?
Yes, because you had to.
Because your skin was so dark. He said, I remember Linville Miller had the same problem because he was a very dark shade. Yes. And that's when I learned about black guys tanning. Because I remember being told that. And I remember laughing at the time about black guys tanning. And then you realize now that you have to have the sheen to give you that, otherwise you look smooth, don't you? You look smooth on stage.
You look smooth. It's the lighting reflect. You want the light to reflect. You don't want the light to absorb into your whatever. So
exactly.
we have to tan. It's an artificial light. Yeah. So we want an artificial surface, So anyway, so I was doing my tan. Somebody was doing my tanning backstage. So you put the tiny little bit of Dream Tan 2. It has to be 2, not 1. 1 didn't work.
Yeah.
And then you add a little bit of what's it called? 1 cow spray. And then just lightly rub it over the skin. Ronnie sat there watching me, and then he said to me, "What's that?" So I told him what I was doing. And I said, "What tan did you use?" You know what his response was?
What?
Not that. And then he turned his back on me. And I remember thinking, well...
What did he say? Sorry, what did he say?
Not that.
Not that?
I said, what tan do you use? And he goes, not that, pointing at my hand.
Oh, pointing at you. Yes, okay. Sorry.
Then he turned his back on me. I'm thinking, oh, here we go. But anyways, he wasn't very friendly. But he was friendly when he won the Olympia, and he was there at the Champions 2000, because he came up to me after the prejudging, and he came up, Ronnie came up, held my shoulders in the foyer, and he said, "Hey, big guy, you're going to do well." I mean, that's the first conversation I ever had with Ronnie. And then after that, the next conversation was not that. So I wasn't that happy. I remember thinking, "Oh, fuck you then."
Okay, I think he was really pissed off there. I think he was really gutted.
I know.
I think that 2006. I think that really hurt him. That one. Losing to Jay. I think he thought. I think he. In his mind, he was so far ahead of Jay Cutler, and I think losing to Jay, I think that was tough for him.
It was. Yeah, I think he didn't take it very well. You could tell by his demeanor. I was with him. I was with these guys all day long. He's sitting. You go to the canteen, they're there eating, and Dennis James was in one of them. It was just one of those things,
Yeah. So let's go forward to the 2007 Pro Ironman. Being called out with guys like Tony Freeman and comparing absolutely amazing. Tell us about that show.
Okay, so I got everything down, and I wrote everything down, and I went with Carmen Lights at the time, and I said to her, "Look, you tend to lose. I'm prepping myself. You tend to lose your mind." I worked with Milos for a while, but Milos's what's the word? Carb loading system didn't work for me because he liked simple sugars at the time. I don't know what he does now.
Yeah.
My body doesn't process simple sugars at all. So, it was going right through me. So I read, this is what I read somewhere, that what you ate as a child was something that your body can absorb well. So I remember calling my brother and said, "Look, when I was a kid, what did I eat?" And he told me about the type of yams that I ate. So I went all the way to Tottenham, and they got these things, the yams, special yams that came. That's what carb load. So every show that I did in the States, I'd cook them. I cooked the yams and plantains, right? These are the things that I ate when I was a child.
Yeah.
And then freeze it, and the whole carb loading food, and then put it in my suitcase, and then transport it to the States.
Yeah.
That's what I did. So I had everything planned. And when I got there, and I knew I was on. Anyway, we were sitting backstage. I did my carb loading. I put on 8 pounds before 8 pounds. And I remember thinking, I was dry. And
I see like that. I mean, we'll work in some edits and stuff like that from that show. But that was I remember looking at the pictures and thinking he's nailed it bang on there. That's the best version I've ever seen of Eddie.
But the thing is, when you see so I'm sitting backstage. This is the story, right? Quickly, and when they always come, bodybuilding shows, you've competed before. They be like, "Guys, you got 5 minutes to go on stage." Nobody moves. This is the pros. Nobody's going to get changed. Nobody wants to be seen first.
Yeah.
So I'm sitting there, but my name is, I'm always first alphabetically. So I'm sitting there thinking, okay, I need to. So I get up and I run to some corner with Carmen Nice. I'm like, you know what, help me time. So she's trying to time me around the corner where nobody sees us. Who walks in? Tony Freeman. Oh. And he stands there and starts staring at me. And then Carmen says, don't look, he's staring at you. So Tony stands there staring, and then he goes away. He brings 2 other people, and they're standing staring at me. Now I'm getting angry now because I didn't know how good I looked.
Okay.
You know? I didn't know. You know, the lighting in hotels are not that great. You know that you've done your homework. You just hope for the best. And then Tony, so he brings other guys, and they're standing there looking at me, and I'm thinking, do you know what? I'm going to punch this guy's lights out in a minute, right? And then, so when we got on the stage, and my name was the first to be called out. When they called out Freeman, blah, blah, and then we did our comparison. There was me, there was Mark Duckdale, there was Hidetada, Tony Freeman, what's his name, Silvio Samuel, and they called it the 5 of us. Then we went off. And then Tony, when we were backstage, the others were being compared. The riffraffs were being compared. You know how
the riffraff. Yeah. So hang on, just quickly. When he brought the other 2 people to come and see you backstage, I'm guessing it's because you look so good. Who did he have with him?
No, I'll tell you. I'll tell you the story. Let me finish the story. So when we got off the stage, when he got up the first comparison, he comes up to me. He nudges me. He goes, "Hey," I said, "What?" He goes, "It's between you and me. You look good." And I remember thinking, okay, if Tony says that, you do look good. He goes, "No, don't worry about it. It's between you and me." I said, "You've either won it or I've won it. So they're not going to call us back again because I'd never been there before, especially in the pro show in the States. That's the first time for me." He says, "Don't worry about it." He said, "I'm standing there trying." He goes to me, "Oh, fuck that, chill." So they're not going to. So I'm standing in the stage. And I'm waiting for the bus, chatting to Tony, and everybody else is doing this and trying to whatever. I'm just relaxed. Tony's doing the same thing. He was like, he might as well have been smoking cigars, standing backstage, being on this, chilling out. And then he goes, "Then our next call out will be the last one. Don't worry, just leave them." And then he was right, the next call out. But then the videos you see of me posing was in between the morning and evening show. I went to the food, those food courts in the States. Yeah. And I ate so much Chinese, right? That I didn't care. Yeah. I remember Flex Lewis was there. Yeah. He came up the first time he actually met me, and he came up and he said to me, "Man, I hope to achieve what you've achieved one day." Flex Lewis at that mall.
He said that. Wow.
He said that. Cool. I hope to achieve what you've achieved one day, because he says you're looking good. But then I didn't also realize that Flex Lewis was 5 foot nothing. But after that, when the videos that you see, but then when it came to the competition, the actual competition, the comparisons, I was dry. Yeah. But in the evening, when people that came in the evening, they didn't see that condition. So they're like, "Why is that guy placing ahead of Silvio Samuel?" And people are getting wound up. And I'm thinking, well, they don't judge the evening show. It's just a formality, So I didn't care. I enjoyed that Chinese, and I'd do it again tomorrow.
Oh, that's sodium. Oh,
absolutely.
I bet you're like, getting sugar, sodium rushes.
And you see my routine. I choreographed a really nice routine. I didn't give a monkeys. I just went there. I was gyrating. I'm like, "I'm here. Look at me. I'm here." I didn't care.
I remember it was like you're like, "It's a done deal, guys. I've made top 3. I'm good."
Yeah, I'm good. I was good. The only thing I didn't want to qualify anywhere else apart from the States, because the Americans at the time didn't really respect any other show that was done out of the States. Correct. I wanted to qualify in one of the top, the big 3. The Ironman, Night of the Champions, and Arnold Classic. I wanted to qualify in one of them, and I did it. Yeah. And I remember thinking, yes, that was it. To me, that was it for me. I just wanted to get to Olympia stage once, and that was it.
Yeah. So you started the interview by saying you wanted to get to the Olympia just once, and you did it. Tell us about that.
People always ask me that about the Olympia, and I realized when after I was with Naeem, took me to Olympia a couple of times with the metrics and all that, and I realized that it's more of an exhibition. And there's certain people I was never going to beat. It doesn't matter what I did. you know, because they got better genetics. I mean, that Olympia, for instance, I mean, Jay Cutler is really, I love Jay Cutler. I think he's one of the smartest bodybuilders ever existed. And I thought Victor Martinez won that show. I was there. I was standing next to him. Yeah. And I'm saying that, you know what I mean? So I never looked at it. I looked at it as an opportunity to make money. So even 2 weeks before, I was doing, Mike and Lisa Gelsey, I was doing the pro show. I was standing on that stage at nearly 21, so I was a big fat bastard. I didn't really care much about the Olympia itself because I knew I'm going to get beat. Come on. I know these guys. I know my calves were sitting at the back of my knee like prunes. You know what I mean? They're not going to grow.
So go on, carry on. That's tickled me that. Okay, go on, carry on.
I got the typical Negro calves, man. You know, like the ones that you look at the shin, you think, do you know what? One of the things that pushed me really hard into bodybuilding is when I was nursing. Yeah. And then I met a girl, and one day I ended up in a room. I was 9.5 stone then, and she looks at me. She goes to me, "Oh dear, somebody's legs are a bit skinny." And you know what? This is what when you're taking your clothes off. It's like the 80s. You're taking your clothes off, about to throw one into a girl, and she says that, and you think, and then she says that, and you think, and then this old boy is like recoil. I had a reverse erection. You know what I mean? It was a reverse erection. You know, and I remember thinking, bitch. And I remember thinking, what can I say to wind her up apart from, oh my God, I can see your liver, you're so pale. But that wouldn't have worked. So
yeah, you probably thought a week later, oh, that's a good comeback, and it's a week too late.
Every time I did train legs, I remember that phrase. Even now, I still remember that phrase. And that was when I was 21 years old.
You got PTSD, mate. You got PTSD from a girl saying about your skinny legs.
That's over 30 years. That's scary, isn't it?
That is. I think you need some therapy.
Every squat I do, I'm like, you motherfucker, thinking about that girl.
Yeah. oh, yeah. Well, I started weight training because I got beaten by a girl in an arm wrestling school. So,
that's brilliant. That's a really good story.
And she's on my Facebook, and I keep asking her for a rematch. So,
you should do the rematch. That would be fun.
The thing is, if she beat me again, it would just finish me off, mate.
It's amazing the things that you remember, isn't it? There might be, she probably didn't even remember it, but you do.
Yeah, and do you know what I did? I went home and I had those Sandfield dumbbells, and it was a 4.5 kilo dumbbell, and I did just one arm. I did 130 reps with one arm. Didn't do the other one, and I couldn't straighten my arm for a week. I was like a T-Rex, like this, you know. So that was my start into my journey of the bodybuilding and that industry. So yeah, and here we are today.
That's funny.
So Eddie, right? Okay. So what are you doing up to nowadays, mate? You doing a lot of coaching, and you got your gym. Tell us about that before I let you go.
No, but I own a gym in Hemel Hempstead, which is in Hertfordshire. You know, I prepped so many people. That's what I did for a while, and now I just realized I can't do that. I can't really do that anymore because my conscience couldn't deal with an incident that happened, and so many things are going on. But I'm a mental health nurse, and I was seeing people with mental health issues coming back into this competing, and I was having to suggest that on top of that mental health issue to take drugs that I wasn't comfortable with. And eventually an incident happened when it's very rife in the industry, you know that?
Yeah.
Because there are more people competing now. So I had a boy come in, and he said to me, basically it was prepping for a show. And then he said to me, can you show me how to do side sections, because I can't do it in my glutes because I have too much scar tissue. So as a nurse, I'm like, come on then. So I'm the one that got the thing for him from my guy. So I got it ready, and just before I did, he goes, hang on, can you ask your guy, see if you've got any, this contains peanut oil. I remember thinking, why? He says, I'm allergic to peanut.
Okay.
So I called the guy. He couldn't find out. We called for about half an hour, but we couldn't find any. I didn't do the injection, of course. Then when I came home and I spoke to my wife, who's also a nurse, and she said to me, do you realize if you have done that, you would have killed him? Now, I couldn't sleep for about 2 days. That was it. because okay, I might have gone away with it as far as the law was concerned, but my conscience, I couldn't deal with it. And I couldn't. And I thought, what are you doing? You're a man in his late 50s. What are you doing to these kids who, you know how some people invest too much in this sport without the genetics and push themselves, and you can see that instead of focusing on making a career for themselves, you know how it is.
Yeah.
You know, there's no plan B, and I find myself pulling out. So now I'm not into the body because I'm more about holistic lifestyle changes. And if you watch my Instamations and people making lifestyle changes, and I love it. I've still prep a few people, but quietly I tell them, especially now, I tell them don't tell anybody that Eddie prepped you because it might go against you. I've got a big mouth and I can be a complete cunt sometimes, and just don't.
Oh, mate, do you know what? I said to Callie Miller, I said, we're going to do at least an hour. And I said, because once we get into a few subjects, I said, it's going to be really good. He's going to be full of stories and full of fun. And mate, this has been fantastic. I've really enjoyed getting you on. And I think, sorry, my voice is going now. I think we need to get you, I think we need to honour JD's request and get you two on together.
Oh yeah, that's good banter, because JD's my boy, man. I mean, because we competed together. Yeah. We did a few pro shows together, and it was good sort of to meet. And he says to me, he's the one that said, Eddie, you and I in the bodybuilding wilderness. JD, sometimes at a show, you looked at his physique, and I'm thinking, how did that person beat JD? He was awesome. He was phenomenal.
He was amazing, wasn't he? He was amazing. Very underrated pro.
I used to look at his, I'm like, actually, but then he never plays. I don't know if he actually competed at the Olympia. I think he had an invite and he turned it down.
96, yeah, but he did the Grand Prix a week later.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. But he was one of my heroes, and it would be nice to talk to JD. Yeah, there's a lot of banter between the two of us. Yeah.
Eddie,
he's much older than me,
of course. Eddie, we're starting to lose a bit of connection now as well, mate. So I think we better wrap it up. But I really appreciate you taking the time, mate, and I'm glad I got you on. And I've really enjoyed hearing all these stories, and it's good to catch up, mate. Because like I said, I haven't seen you much in the last few years. So it's always good to see you've still got the good energy and the good humor and the honesty as well. That's what we want on this show. We want the honesty.
Cool. Nice talking to you, Giles. It's been a long time. You know what? When I saw your number come up, I'm like, I've still got Giles' number. Why didn't I delete it?
It's still there. Yeah. So and also, please give my best regards to your brother Peak. Can't leave shaking his head, mate. He's not impressed. I told him. I said, I've been saving this joke up for I haven't thrown this one at him since about 1999. So there you go.
That's hilarious. There's an article called Peak Abbew. I never saw it in the magazine. Did you write it? Was it you that wrote it?
Probably yes. I'll take credit for it because it's funny.
Yeah, it said peak, and that cracks me up because and he had a picture of my bicep with the peak.
Brilliant. All right, then, mate. I'll let you go get your Sunday lunch, and I look forward to speaking to you very soon, mate.
Nice talking to you.
Okay. Thanks, Eddie.
Bye, Mr. Man in the Hat.
Man in the Hat. Okay. Bye, Eddie. Bye. Okay, guys, it is shout-out time for Season 4, Episode 11 of The Global Muscle. Okay, also, we didn't do shout-outs last week. What was the reason?
You didn't want to.
I couldn't be asked. Right, okay, but the shout-outs are back this week, and we've got a good few for you here. Okay, the first one is Jean-Pierre Fuchs, who we had on Global Muscle a couple of weeks ago, as you can see, Season 4, Episode 8. Now, the reason I'm giving a shout out is because the feedback and the response from that interview was huge. I mean, I had no idea he would be such a fantastic guest. But he was an amazing guest. People loved hearing those stories from someone really that hasn't really been, I don't think I've ever heard him really speak that much before. So to have him come on, just turn it down a bit, please. Oh, it's on Russian, isn't it? Yeah, the Russian Grand Prix. Yeah, this was the one he took second at. Is this 96? Yeah, 96, Russian Grand Prix. This was the one... Was this the one that Ronnie won? No, that was 97. Yeah. That was a famous vodka and coffee story. But yeah, the reason, yes, like I said, so the feedback on this one was so good. I think because also there's not many shows, well, there's no shows on at the moment because obviously the COVID situation. So we decided here at MD Global Muscle, we decided to bring on some of the 90s guys. And yeah, John Pierre came on and he was such a fantastic guest. I really, really enjoyed talking to him because he was, the thing is, the problem was he came along in an era which was so intensely competitive. God, look at that. He was huge, wasn't he? Is that a pec tear he's got there? I think it was. I think he had a very mild pec tear. But he was a mass monster, and he was only around for after 96 and 1997. He kind of dipped. He started off strong and then kind of fell off the deep end, I suppose. Kind of physique just got worse, really, which he kind of explained. But in 96, 97, this guy was like, he looked, he was in the mold of Dorian Yates, and explains it all in the interview we did. But look at this. I mean, this was a guy. I think this was... Ooh, okay, yeah, look at that. That was what? That was probably 19... I think that's the 1997 Olympia. And it's just unfortunately came along in probably one of the most competitive eras of bodybuilding. But yeah, used to train with Nasser El Sambati. Yeah. And he's been coaching people. And... what I really, really like about him... Oh, do you want to see one of these Olympia pictures, Colin? Go on then. I'll go this one. Sorry, mate. Yeah, there's Kamal, obviously, who's in this episode. There's Sean Clarida, the mini Ronnie Coleman. I was working out, Sean Clarida, 177 pounds, and I don't think he's much taller than 5 foot. I'll be honest. I think he's about maybe 5'1", 5'2" max. Now, they say that for every inch of height... it should be 10 pounds of body weight. So if Ronnie was 5'11", and Sean is 5'1", that's 10 inches times 10 pounds. That's 100 pounds. If he was Ronnie Coleman's height, he would be exactly the same weight as Ronnie Coleman.
All right.
So, no, but the reason I'm saying that is because his thickness and his development and his size, everyone's calling him like the mini Ronnie Coleman because pound for pound for his height, he's as big and thick as Ronnie Coleman was. Obviously, just like a short version, But sorry, Callum, I'll interrupt you there. Find me a couple of pictures, mate.
Scroll down. Keep going. Ooh, the back shot's nice.
Look at that. Right, I'm going to quiz you now. Oh, you can see it's written on there anyway. Who's the other two guys?
I don't think that's Coleman.
That is Ronnie Coleman in, I think that's 96. 96. Mike Francois. You read it.
No, I didn't.
Yeah, you did. You don't even know Mike Francois until the other week. Bullshitter. See your nose growing, mate. Wow, look at that shot there. Holy shit. Look at his abs. My God, he was awesome. Look at the hamstrings. Looks like he's been sliced with a knife. The 90s started the mass monster movement, starting with Dorian Yates, then Paul Dillette and Nasser Sambati. What makes someone a mass monster and who else is on that list? Mustafa Mohammed. Yeah, he was awesome. Do you know what? Mustafa Mohammed's somebody I'd like to get on because most people watching this are probably saying, who's that? I saw him at the 2003 British Grand Prix and he was third place there and I'd have had no argument if he'd have beaten Jay Cutler. Ernie Taylor was second in that one. I'm trying to get Ernie Taylor on, but he won't come on. I don't know. I don't know. I get on really well with Ernie. We're friends and he messages me back and he makes kind of funny excuses that I'm not buying at the moment. So I really want to get Ernie on because I like Ernie. And Ernie, after Dorian Yates, really was the number one British bodybuilder. He was top 10 at the Olympia. He was, third place at the 1997 Night of Champions. I think that was his first pro show. Anyway, back to Jean-Pierre. Right, the reason another reason is because he likes cats and he has a cat sanctuary and he looks after 22 cats. And he didn't build this, but he's had it built for his cats in the enclosures, and I think that's really cool. So anyone who loves cats is cool in my book. So I find I'm more of. Are you a cat person or a dog person, Colleen? Anytime today. Well, I don't like dogs because they're smelly and dependent. Like my ex-girlfriend. Sorry, I've got a few of those. Not dogs. Sorry, what?
Wolf dogs.
Wolf dogs. Oh, annoying, a bit smelly though, aren't they?
Nah, they're pretty cool.
Yeah, okay. Right, here we are. This is what? Okay. Oh, his English is much better now, isn't it? Oh, he's speaking German, that's why. Come on, guys. It's a long old speech. Just turn the volume down a little bit. Wow. See, this was 1997. And, oh, he was a freak. His shoulders. I wonder if I probably could tell you who those photographers are as well. Nope, can't see him again. Yeah, he was a monster. Oh, they've changed the music as well for the copyright, which is good. Look at that. His glutes are in there. Was this the one he said that he was... Oh, no, he looked good. Yeah, he looks good. He looks really good. 99, he started putting... What he said, didn't he? He said he was putting crap in his arms. And he said he did 3 shots of it. And it really detracted from his physique. That was the year they were all site injecting. Mike Matarazzo was doing it. He was doing it. NASA was doing it. And it just... Milos did it. And Milos said he really regrets that. And it was just such a... It looked so bad. I don't understand why they did it. Did they not practice before, a few months before, to see how it would look? I think he's got maybe something in his arms there, actually. So, anyway. Yeah, so... sorry, you were saying...
Yeah, almost killed him.
Yeah, almost killed him. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, because he went. Yeah, that's right. You're right. So yeah, Jean-Pierre Fuchs, JP Fuchs, FUX, 5'11". Check him out. He does a lot of contest prep, and yeah, has a cat rescue. So if you're looking to adopt a cat in the LA area, get yourself over to Jean-Pierre Fuchs and give those lovely kitties a nice home. Right. Okay. The next shout out is Raiden Motivation. Now, to be honest, I feel a bit of a traitor here because I'm always promoting Nicandro Motivation. Nicandro, who does these kind of motivational montage videos, and they're just fantastic. I mean, there's something like sometimes they're just like 1 minute long, but he puts like really good music on, and although I could stop talking about it and actually show them. So I think we're gonna have to go with Ronnie Kalim on his phone again. Right, okay. Can we put the sound on here?
What you do,
okay.
You train,
is that Zach Khan?
To grow,
it's Sergio.
you have to feel pain.
You have to feel pain.
You have to
Tom Platz. That's from 1988. Dennis James. Look at Dennis James. Ronnie, 800 pound squat for 2 reps. God, I must have watched this 1,000 times before legs. Zach looking fucking huge, as always. Sexy beast he is. I think we'll have to get Zach on again. I've not had him for a while. There's Johnny Jackson, top guy. Still competing now. He competed this year at age 50. Last year did the Chicago Pro. Tom Platz doing some very... Looks like he's dry humping that leg curl machine. Dorian Yates. Wow, I love all these videos. They're amazing. Is that Lee Haney? Go on, Ronnie. God, can you imagine the adrenaline going through his veins there. Squatting 800 pounds. Oh my God. What's the heaviest you've ever seen anyone squat? 3? Oh my God. You ain't never seen me train legs. 1 plate. Do you know what? I probably couldn't even squat a plate. I haven't been training that long with the gym shutdowns, you know? Fucking COVID. But yeah. Well, April 12th, get back training. You got your training plan, got your training gear. We got Ronnie. Sorry, I can't. That'll be us. That'll be us by May the 12th. Chris Cormier training. That's the video we put in last episode. Training at Temple Gym. Take your puke bucket. Yeah. No, he made him puke outside. He's he's got standards, Dorian. You're not being sick in the gym, even though literally no one would notice. Right. Okay. I'm gonna start at the top, and you're gonna tell me when to stop.
Keep going.
Did you see that Marcus Roll farting video? Oh my God, that made me laugh. I don't like toilet humor, but it's well, maybe we'll show it. Should we show? Oh, come on, we got to show Clarida. Let's show Clarida. Oh, this is the one we put. Actually, we put this one in 2 episodes episodes ago for Charles Griffin. Got to put the sound on.
Be a good pro. You should
Look at that.
Why waste your time?
I can't imagine what the other pros thought when they saw him strip off backstage, seeing him that improved. He said by the time he hit the stage, he was 8 pounds heavier than the year before. There's Kamal. Look at that. Captain CGI. I gave him the nickname for that video. I just think it's going to be him and Kamal for the next couple of few years, you know. Kamal's going to be around for another 5 years, and he's still managing to look as good as he is, and even maybe improve like he did last year at age 49. I can see it being like Kai and Phil for the next 2-3 years. I can see it just being Sean Clarida and Kamal Elgargni. They're just too good. They're too impressive. And they're hungry as well. Now Kamal's pissed off now because he's not pissed off, but he wants his title back. He's hungry for it, you know. You know, he tasted the success of winning the Olympia in 2019. COVID kind of scuppered his chances to actually enjoy being Mr. Olympia and go anywhere with it. So now, you know, he really wants it back. So, oh, look at that. That's Ronnie Coleman 2003. Do you want to have a look at that one? No? You don't want to see more Ronnie? There's Marcus Rule next to Ronnie at 2004.
Keep going. Ooh, that'll be nice.
Which one?
The comparison of Ronnie when he first started compared to
Okay. Okay.
Is that no video?
Oh, it's just a picture.
Oh.
Okay. Come on, mate. This guy does editing videos. Right. Okay. I'm going to get a bit controversial now. No, I don't care anyway. Okay. Right. I don't care what anyone says. NASA was nowhere near Dorian in 97. From the back, Dorian destroyed him. I can hear the YouTube comments coming in already. I can see into the future. He was good though, NASA. I thought NASA's best year was 96. I thought the 96 Olympia and the Grand Prix tour, which I've got slide photos I took at the Grand Prix. He could have beat Dorian then. No, I did. I got slide photos. They're probably still in the house somewhere. Yeah, Dorian's bicep. Do you know 6 weeks before, or was it 4 weeks before, he banged, it was a couple of weeks before, he banged his tricep, tore his tricep. And he wouldn't have surgery because he didn't want to pull out of the Olympia. And he couldn't really train. He was just doing light stuff. But he was on track to bring the best version he'd ever brought because he was a lot bigger this year, Dorian Yates, in 97. So this is, he couldn't train. He was in agony. And he said, I remember Dorian said to me, and he said, if someone had actually bashed me on stage, the tricep would have completely come off the bone. So he had to be so careful when he was at that Olympia because he'd been icing it. And I mean, imagine that happening just a couple of weeks out. Oh my God. You'd just be devastated, wouldn't you? Right, we'll have a look at one more. But
Tom Platz.
Tom Platz. You like Tom Platz, do you? Tom Platz is... I wish he'd come on this bloody show. Come on, Tom. We'd have such a good talk. Because he's such a passionate, such a character. He's someone I've always looked up to, you know? I mean, this was a guy who inspired Dorian Yates. But he's very unique. Very good motivator, Tom Platz. God, he's nuts. Love him. He's just such a passionate guy, you know? So unorthodox, such a character for the times, you know? He was amazing. The guy would go to failure and then go beyond failure and then do it until he was moving the rep like a budgie in an inch. He would just keep repping and keep repping. He squeezed every drop out. Absolute maniac in the gym he was, as you can see. That's Bill Boyd there. That's Bill Boyd. That's sadly no longer with us. This was who Tom used to come to stay with when he came to the UK. Very good friends of him. He was like a judge and a very well-respected figure in the bodybuilding industry in the UK back in the 70s, 80s. So yeah, it's fantastic. I could watch it. I could look at all these all day. Wow, that's Flex Wheel at the 98 Arnold Classic. See, you've seen the 93 Arnold Classic in this episode, but...
My statement was...
Oh, wow, that was 92 USA. He was just showing there when he turned pro. He was phenomenal, Flex Wheeler. So good. When he was on, he was dangerous. When he was off, not so much. Yeah, is that the French Invitational? Or is that San Jose? I mean, San Francisco. I want to see the 98 Arnold because I want to compare it to the 93 Arnold look. Because for me, it's a toss-up between the 93 and the 98. 98, he was bigger. But the 98 Arnold, he was... I remember Mike Cox, MD4 member, went there and he said, Giles, that's the most perfect physique I've ever seen in my life. He said... Yeah, 93 Arnold... Sorry, 93 pro Ironman. That was his first pro win. Look at that. Yeah, he wasn't great that year. I think that was 97. That was the year he pulled out. Got attacked by ninjas. He was fantastic. So impressive. So impressive. Flex Wheeler! Wow. Look at that. Look at the tiny waist. He's so cool. Yeah, that was 98 Olympia, which he lost to Ronnie Coleman. No one saw Ronnie Coleman coming. No one. Fourth call out at the judging, and then later that night wins the Olympia. There you are, 98 Arnold. Wow. Yeah, he never brought his best to the Olympia, though. He always brought his best to the Arnold Classic. I'm guessing he liked to prep in the winter. But anyway, yeah, Raider Motivation. Yeah, just check those videos out. And thing is, you get a good history of the sport as well. You really get a good education on, who was around you in those times. Right, okay, let's go to the next one. This is Dorian Yates, the Dorian Yates, 1.1 million followers. How we had on last week with Chris Cormier, fantastic guest. It's Mickey Rook. Mickey Rook. Yeah, God, he's had a lot of surgery, hasn't he? Pulling faces there, mate.
No comment.
I think I'm pretty sure. I mean, well, how old is he? What's happened to his hair? What's happened there? Look? That's a wig, isn't it? Is that a wig?
I think it's implants.
Yeah. I've always heard good things about Mickey Rook, though. A lot of people say he's a big bodybuilding fan. Trains at Gold's Gym. Did you ever see The Wrestler?
No.
The Wrestler, where he plays that kind of washed-up wrestler, and he got in really good shape for that. I mean, he must have been in his probably late 40s, even 50s when he made that. So, but the reason I want to give, I don't know why I've given Dorian Yates a shout out. What was the reason? Oh, yeah, I wanted to see his supplement stack. And plus, you could never get enough of Dorian, really, because he's a cool dude. Yeah. Oh, there he is with Gal, his wife. Oh, Gal's lovely. Yeah, lovely couple. I remember when they got together. I think it was around 2009, 2010. When they met and they got married. The first one we had apart in 12 years. Wow, love is always connected. Look after each other. Good advice there, Dorian. Now, I remember this picture. Yeah, I remember this picture in Flex magazine when it came out, and it was a double page, double spread. And I remember I used to look at it. Before I went training because it motivated me that much. This is, I think is that Chris Lund or Kevin Horton? I think that's a Kevin Horton photo because he did the more training footage, whereas Chris Lund did the kind of staged. It was training footage, but it wasn't like a proper workout, whereas Kevin would just document the actual photo shoot, which I always used to do actually as well. I don't like doing stage stuff. But, okay, yeah. Let's have a look at Dorian's supplement stack of what he takes. I'm interested. Yeah, also very, did you see what I put on MD today about the thumbnail you did, but Dorian not being a... Yeah. And I put, meat, with a picture of a tiger saying yum yum. Bloody vegans. Well, I'm not saying, full respect to people who don't know eat meat, but all I'm saying, when Dorian came on screen last week, and I said, Dorian, you look different. You don't look, you look younger. You look healthier. And he said, I've started eating meat again. So yeah. So I think meat's great.
Yeah, say no to veganism.
You say no. Oh, he's got vegan protein. No, get it off. Get it off. Yeah. No, Dorian. No, you're not cool anymore. Going bloody vegan. Look at the whole picture of Dorian there. Wow. 1990. Yeah, that was when he made his splash. Turned pro in 88, the British finals. And then he went to the Night of Champions. And do you know what he said? He was his pro debut. He said, if I don't make top 3, I'm calling it a day and I won't compete anymore. And he took second place to Mohammed Benaziza. Sadly died in 92 on one of the Grand Prix tours. And yeah, he was... what's that picture from? Oh, Spanish Grand Prix, 94. 7 down. Yeah, I saw him at the 96 British Grand Prix. He was so shredded. Unbelievable condition. But let's have a look. God, I love all these old pictures. Yeah. Never trained. I never actually trained in Temple Gym. Just filmed and did a lot of photo shoots there. Filmed Ron Harris. Photographed Ron Harris being put through legs by Dorian.
What was that like?
Well, he'd been flying all night, and all he had was a fruit cup, and he literally went straight from the airport to the gym, had some pre-workout. And then let's watch this 93 Olympia video. Sorry? He destroyed Ron. He completely destroyed. Ron's legs were sore for about 2 or 3 days afterwards. Yeah, it was really funny because we happened to walk around Body Power Expo. And I photographed it and I put it in a different magazine. I did the article and I got some really nice shots from that. And it's cool. Dorian Yates, man. Sport changed forever when he turned up to the 93 Olympia looking like that 257. Bearing in mind when Lee Haney was so much bigger than everybody else, and he was like in the 240s, early 250s, but he wasn't in this condition. You know, Dorian just took things to a whole new level, and it's good to see him happy, healthy, and he's and that's it really. It's he seems to be doing well. Right, okay. Our next shout out is 24-year-old Vlad Suhorochku. I should have had the MD issue. Oh, is this one? Yeah, this is the one. Yeah, hang on. I'm just going to do some bit of self-indulgence here. So, 24-year-old Vlad Suhorochku from Ukraine. I should know where he's from. I just did an article on him. Where is he? Here we go. Yeah, this is an article I just did in the latest issue of MD, in the March issue. And, I did a nice little 6-page feature on Vlad. Because 24 years old, and look at the size of him. And and he's doing really, really well. He posted this update picture and my fucking socks flew off. Because look at that. He's weighing 290 pounds. Holy shit. Oh, mate, you need to work on your faces. Look at that. Looks like a bear. Looks like they slightly shaved a grizzly bear. But what a monster. He's a very nice kid as well. He's 131.5 kilos at the moment. So, and he's also now a team member. He's sponsored now. I think he's got a good contract here with Team MHP. So I'm very happy to hear this. I'm glad to see his potential has been noticed. Here he is. Oh, this is my video I posted. Yeah, I posted this and he's reshared it. Many thanks to MD and Giles for so much attention. It means a lot to me. This gives me a greater understanding that I am on the right way. And of course, huge thanks to my coach, Ahmed Askar, because he obviously is part of the Team Oxygen crew. Yeah, a little bit of my cool editing there. Better than that 93 Arnold editing, wasn't it?
No,
oh, man, TV networks doing that kind of editing. It's like a 5-year-old did it. But that's what we had in the day. But yeah, so Vlad, any pictures you want to see, Clint? Let's have a look at his abs. Okay. Sorry, mate. God, look how thick they are. That's good lighting, isn't it?
Oh my God, you've seen the comments?
What? Holy papi, too much. Too much. Magnificent. Awesome. Incredible. Unreal. Steroidy. Oh, piss off. Yeah, I tell you what, I might message this person, Luca Cavalieri CR7, and I'll tell you what, I'll find out what Vlad's taking and I'll buy the stack for him and I'll send it to him and see if that does the same effect. Yeah? How's that? Yeah? I'll send it to you for nothing. Yeah, I will pay for it. Steroid, stupid comments. But yeah, so he did 13th in his first pro show, it was the NPC European. As you can see, it looks good. 105 kilo brought to the stage. And then he went to Romania. It's really sharpened up. And as you can see, he took second place to Regan Grimes. So, my God, look at the condition there. Yeah, he's peaked perfectly there. So he went from 13th to second from the Alicante show. That's the shot. That's the one we used in the main photo for the article we did. Sorry, I did. But, I mean, look at the proportions on this kid. I mean, 24 years old. And we had him on, it was back 2 months ago, wasn't it? 3 months ago?
Yes,
yeah, season 3 it was. And, gave us the full story. But he seems to be getting a lot of recognition now, which is great to see. And he seems to have a good head on his shoulders, very motivated. Oxygen fully behind him. He's got MHP now. He's got people like me writing about him and MD, promoting him. And, this guy has got an amazing, amazing future and wish him every success. So, yeah. So give big Vlad Suhorochku. I called the article Vlad the Impaler. How original. Couldn't think of anything else. I thought Impaler, that's good. That's a good name, though. I'm surprised no one gave him that nickname before, though. Did he get impaled on something?
He's got his head impaled outside Constantinople.
Well, I'm pretty sure that's not going to happen to Vlad. So I think we're good on that one, mate. Wow, his followers are going up, 58.9. Yeah, so good. Yes, I'll keep my beady eye on this guy over the next few years, and very, very interested to see where his career goes, because this guy, I mean, God, he could be, even in 5 years, he still won't be 30 years old. And here's a guy that could be, you know, placing very well at the Olympia within the next 2 years, realistically. So, okay. And now the final shout out is, this is your one, Nick Colleen. Right. Why you're putting the sound up for a reason.
Yeah.
Okay. Which one? Sorry, Siberian Husky _ feature. What?
The middle one.
That one.
With the big nose, yeah.
That one. Okay.
Oh. Hello. Oh, hello.
Oh. Is he saying hello? Hello. Is this? It's okay. It's just dogs. Okay, so that one. Okay. Oh, aren't he beautiful? I was expecting that. I like that. Come on, find me another one.
Ooh,
Are they all funny ones? Are they all funny?
Some of them are. Some of them are just weird.
Right. Okay. Find me one quick. The cat.
Yeah,
That one. That one.
No, the other one.
That one.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see what we've got here. Ah. Has he got the fish, not the cat?
He wants the fish.
Okay. Oh. He's actually eating the cat, and the cat doesn't seem fussed. What sort of cat's that?
It looks like a Bengal cat.
Bengal. It's beautiful, isn't it? Beautiful. Right, okay. Show me one more. Show me one very funny one, and then we will call it a day. Oh, look. See, I'm not I like dogs, but I'm just...
You need to have a sleigh with one of these.
Yeah. Go to the shops with a sled and a whip.
Mush.
So, yeah, mush. Here, I like this. Oh, no, that's not a sled, is it? That's just a dog on
Baby
it.
dog. That's just my baby dog.
Why is he licking that tortoise's ass?
Baby dog. That's just my...
Okay. Doesn't Michael Hearn have huskies?
Yeah, he does actually.
Yeah. He loves his dogs, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Right, what's he doing?
Oh, that one, yeah.
Okay. What sort of dog's that little one?
I have no idea.
What's he
There's
doing?
another one, scroll up a bit.
What's he doing?
One more.
One more.
I think it's that one.
See, I'm not into dogs as much. I just...
Bottom left.
That one.
No, left, down.
That one.
Down. There you go, that one.
Okay. See, that would get on my nerves. Oh, no! That looks like me. One is not like the others. What's he saying? Right, okay, that's doom editing. Right, okay, well, I just thought we'd end with a little silly one there with, Carlin, because Carlin couldn't find any other people to shout out, so he thought he'd do one for some husky dogs. Right, okay, guys, I hope you've enjoyed this episode. As always, we appreciate the support, and we appreciate you watching and commenting and liking and stuff like that. So, thank you for watching. My name is Giles Thomas, MD Glove Muscle, and we are out.